Stocks back to the upside here this morning, led by the Nasdaq. Tech in general showing strength. Google and Apple specifically. We'll talk about why here coming up. Not much on the economic calendar so far this morning. We do get a couple of Fed speakers, some factory orders, and JOLTS coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. That is about it. The big economic release coming Friday morning at 8:30 with U.S. non-farm payrolls from last month going to be watched very, very closely by the overall market and the Fed committee as expected. Here's the Nasdaq right now. We're right back to 570. Nice extension after the close yesterday on this Google headline. If you missed it, there's the move from Google after the close yesterday, lifting the Nasdaq and basically everything else along with it. They're going to avoid, anyways, it looks like they're going to avoid having to get rid of Chrome or break up in any way, shape, or form going forward, which is great for them. Apple obviously benefiting from that as well. Google paying or will continue to pay Apple to be the main browser on all things Apple related. So a nice pop after the close yesterday for Apple to start things off here this morning out of nowhere. I don't think we were expecting this ruling to come, just out of nowhere at 4 o'clock yesterday. But anyways, gives us something to look at here this morning. That's
absolutely. I mean, this is huge, Brendo. We got all-time highs on Google and by a lot. We're not at all-time highs on Apple. We'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, with their event coming up September 9th, AI will be in focus there. There's a whole bunch to talk about today, guys. Zscaler reporting, good report from the cybersecurity firm, the last of the bunch to report. Amazon with several headlines, one to do with a class action lawsuit, the other to do with the ending of the Prime membership sharing for delivery. So we'll talk about that. And then Dollar Tree also reporting, Brendo, better than expected as, consumers still looking for discounts as prices remain elevated.
Yeah, Macy's too with a nice look as well. M up decently here so far this morning. Potentially bad news for Boeing. Once again, they're going to get another 737 MAX ruling. Potentially today. It could come today. It could come tomorrow. So not doing anything here so far this morning, but worth keeping an eye out for headlines related to Boeing this morning as well. Overall, the market kind of quiet here, trying to bounce back after. I mean, it was a bit of a rough ride yesterday. We did get a couple signs of positivity at one point throughout the afternoon, obviously into the close, but it didn't look good after about 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
No, it didn't. It looked like we were going to lose 6,400 on the ES, but gold, Brendo, not giving back a lot. Gold continues to hang out at near all-time highs, still up 0.5% this morning. This is the gold December contract up into that $3,600 area as a result of obviously the tariff concerns that we had with the district court, the Federal Appeals District Court, saying that Donald Trump's tariffs, most of them anyway, were illegal, and they'll hold off removing them until the middle of October. Brendo, give him an opportunity to appeal that.
Yeah, I mean, he said yesterday in one of many interviews they were going to push for an expedited decision, and go right to the Supreme Court with this. I was reading this morning that if they're not successful in getting some sort of expedited decision from that court, this could be 2026 before any of this even gets resolved, which would mean that these would obviously stay in effect until we get some sort of ruling. So unless that comes through, then it might be a while before we hear about that.
Absolutely. I mean, he wants an expedited ruling from the Supreme Court. Doesn't mean he's going to get one, especially if the legal issues are a little bit more detailed and require more consideration.
Yeah. Bonds, worth noting, bonds back to the upside here this morning a little bit. We came within a basis point of 5% on the 30-year this morning. It's pulling back a little bit here this morning, but the long end of the curve, especially the 30-year and the 10-year, a little bit higher to start here, guys, but calm possibly after what we saw yesterday. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And well, there's another mystery that got solved. We now know what that mysterious buy program at 12 o'clock on Alphabet was. I'm not saying it's mysterious. It was just sort of very linear. At about noon, someone turned it on, and obviously it ended up being good.
Ahmed Mehta turned on.
Oh, his proxies. Probably not.
He may have let the decision slip.
Well, either way, the end result here is obviously great for Alphabet. Not mentioned was another crazy move yesterday where we get some news coming now for NewScale, right? Like NewScale went absolutely nuts. And looks like they've got a pretty decent power deal going with Tennessee, and they're up 5.5 points. So it's one of these like all systems go type of moments. And the Nasdaq recovering from yesterday's, we'll call it a bit of a nothing burger. It's going to take a while to resolve this tariff story anyways. But at the end of the day, rising tide lifts all ships. But this is Google and Apple are the big beneficiaries by far. And I guess it just goes to show that, sometimes we write off these antitrust concerns because typically it's like, slap a fine and it's not going to be a big deal. But this is a big win for Alphabet because they get to at least secure search for a while now while they figure out AI. And then Apple just a week before their iPhone event here getting a good bump because they get all that free profit money for putting Google as Chrome is the default browser. So yeah, good win for both of them. Going to be looking actually like the long, from level-wise, better on Apple, so that's what I'll be looking at. But I'm not going to sleep on Palantir because Palantir did that pattern again. And hopefully a rising tide lifts all ships because it held that 50 period again right at the close. Every single time it gets underneath 156, they're just buying it right back up. And today, it has a chance to actually break out that next level. So that's going to be on the brain, despite the fact it doesn't have a particular catalyst. But yeah, great start so far with just leading the way with Google and Alphabet. Great news.
158 for Palantir. Yeah, I just wanted to say, just real quickly here. I mean, there's a 50-period moving average again on the.
Here's the 50-period moving average here on the Qs. Comes right into the 50-period right there, and now we're starting to bounce back to the upside. So that 50-period was 562. We basically nailed it yesterday into 560. Now you're trying to bounce back up. So whether or not, all things are gravy now, I don't know, but it seems like it's getting a lot better. And that's the thing about trading stock is you never know when that next story is going to come through. Zscaler came out with what I thought was a great report. We had it live on the after show, on the recap show. And all of a sudden it just faded right back out. Zscaler on risk of going red on really great reports. Can't find anything wrong with it. About 2 weeks ago, I said Apple 250 probably on some AI news. Looks like Apple 250 might be coming up a little bit quicker than that. There it goes, huge move. And again, all I did was buy Apple down here near this 50-period moving average, and now it's starting to bump up. And I said to Sharif and Joe, it's like the only decision that I ever regret doing in my long-term account is selling anything. It's every single time I sell something, a month or so later, it's higher. So I don't want to do that anymore. Let's just let Apple go, see if it wants to continue to move a little bit higher. I could understand pairing something off, but I really like the way this is all looking right now, and the market seems to be wanting to go. Remember, we have Broadcom coming up. We've got some more big reports coming.
CRM tonight?
Yeah, Salesforce
Whatever
tonight.
C3AI does, we get to find out tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to worry too much about that. We've got crypto going again a little bit here. Solana, for some reason, I bought that at $2 That's still moving around 210 right now, up 5%. Goes Solana today, as we talked about some of the downflow here in crypto over the last little while. But now we're starting to get 2, 1, 2, starting to get bumped up a little bit here as the market feels just a little bit better about everything. So yeah, it's pretty good. Gold all-time highs. That's huge for the gold bugs out there. Gold, like I was saying, outperforming the S&P 500, outperforming Bitcoin, all of that. And who would have thought that? So gold is supposed to be
one of the fears,
safe haven.
You have fears in Japan. Yields are getting out of control.
Yeah,
a lot of major governments.
Global uncertainty.
And so a lot of uncertainty. But in Japan, it's not just the U.S., but you're seeing those yields start to rise. You have to keep an eye on yields, obviously, but let's be real. At the end of the day, we're kind of led by tech so far until we see some real breadth in terms of this rotation, which seems to start and then stop very quickly. Then I think we're still led by the big tech names. Ooh, we already got a super chat here. On the Rail TV, what do you think of SMCI? You just built a 3,000 share position at a 42.90 average. So want to thank you for that. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Let's just throw up SMCI. Oh, yeah. Well, the good news is if you like a stock, you buy it in front of the 200-period moving average, and also grab yourself a healthy banana for a source of potassium. That's important. You can't make decisions if you don't have a good diet and brain health. And actually, I have no idea if bananas are good for brain health, but let's just say they are because they're tasty. Now, if you like the 200-period moving average, this is exactly where it's bounced from. I mean, personally, I would rather see it, for myself, I wouldn't be buying this particular chip name. Don't own it. not exactly one that I'm a huge fan of. But I did believe that after we got that 50 pull, that you were looking for a bounce area here. I just really would be worried after the quarter if they were to lose 39, this prior support here going back into May. Because if you lose the 200 period, I'm not sure where the bottom is going to be. And this has been a name that did not participate when we were getting the big rally in the chip space. You know, like this sat it out. Like when everything was running higher, this was sort of sitting it out to a certain extent in terms of how much juice it would have. So I'm a little bit skeptical here, but the 200 period moving average is where to go, and you have 39 as a bit of support level, so it's about 10% worth of risk, or actually less than that from your current position, if that's what you like for an out, and it's certainly got some room to play a little bit of catch up. But it's not the one that I'm a huge fan of personally. I don't actually own it.
Look, on the rail, I would, if you're asking for my advice, I would take 60,000 of that position, half of it, and I would be rolling it right into here. I think NVIDIA pulling back down in just to diversify that position. It's not diversifying it in the way of you're in the same sector, but you're just giving yourself a little bit of room in case SMCI continues to fall down. I don't think NVIDIA falls as dramatically, and you get some nice support levels, and you're at the 50-period moving average, and you can also use this 168 or 165, something like this, in and around here, even just 160 as you're out. So you're just risking 10 bucks right there on NVIDIA, where I think you can get back 10 bucks by tomorrow. Like, I think we could beat a 180 today. Like, so anyways, I like NVIDIA in that play as well, but I like your SMCI great. I think to take a line from Kramer, I think you have horse sense. I think that was a good level there to pick up some SMCI. So if you're in it, obviously you are. I like that trade. So yeah, I got, and this is, again, I was just sort of lecturing Joe and Sharif, and I did the same thing yesterday, actually. So here we go, man. Do as I say, not as I do. I got out of some JP Morgan yesterday, and I was just telling these guys, like, the worst thing ever to do is to sell something. But we did it around 299 yesterday on JP Morgan. We got filled on this move through the upside there. And I talked about it on our recap show when I got filled. I was just not going to wait for that 303 anymore. Want to get out something ahead of. So I think it was in and around, yeah, probably 298.75, 290. I'm just putting even prices now, really. It doesn't really matter to me. So in and around there, 299 or so, out some JP Morgan for I think it was the second time. Some outs around 270 now, again, at 3 bills. So just getting some cash. I don't really know why, in case there's some better opportunities. I mean, you know, Google just top to bottom there. Just talking about a big stock, obviously, right, with Google, with the news today. Like, you didn't have to get this name 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 months ago. You just had to get this name 4 months ago. And if you waited for this thing to drop back in here and you picked up a huge name on huge discount, this was an 18 PE. We talked about this over and over and over again. Boom, right there to the upside. So all you had to do was 140. It's tough to make this trade because you can't always pick the bottoms of everything. You never know. But 150 to 225, you know, that move alone right there, 40% in 3-4 months, that's good enough return. You could have never traded Google your whole life and just bought it there, and now you're just chilling out. So we'll wait. I mean, I think investing, as we say, isn't the hardest thing to do. It's picking the right stocks at the right time.
And then just hold on for dear life.
Yeah, and then hold on to the right names, right? Names like Open Door and things like that tend to be fluctuating, obviously much different stories. But Open Door, I really like them today. Again, Open Door up another 5%.
Closed over 5.
Yeah, so
closed over 5.
There it is, 535 right now. So here we go, up 4% off of a 17% move yesterday, Open Door. So I think that the door has been open for a while on this one, and it seems like it's opening even wider now as it's starting to finally breathe and hopefully get some breakout out of this area right now through 5 up to 550, 580. I wrote down on the sticky note, watch out for 580. That's all that you have to worry about. I think we're going to get there today, so we'll hit that up. But that's Open Door. So yeah. Anyways. All right, let's go back over to the desk. I don't think we have anybody today, but maybe we do. We'll go back over to the desk.
As per usual, Raheem is stuck in traffic. So Raheem is on his way, but I have no idea when he's going to get here. So we'll hope that he makes it and see when he does. He is going to talk a little bit about mining this morning and some of the sectors that have performed the best in Canada. Speaking of Canada, it's actually a little bit surprising when you actually zoom out and see what has done the best so far this year. But we'll leave that for him. We were just talking about, Sharif and I were just talking about this. Tesla, nice move early on this morning here with the overall market to the upside. We're holding above 335. There's not a lot in the way of anything headline driven here this morning for Tesla, but potentially a little bit of a bounce here.
Yeah, and I don't know, you got to speculate, obviously, Brendo, but Mark Benioff, Salesforce CEO, interesting character, was at the Tesla Gigafactory, it looks like, and he posted here on X saying at 12:53 a.m., kind of a random time, Wednesday morning, amazing, what Tesla CEO Elon Musk is doing to create the future. Just inspiring. He's talking basically about the robots and Optimus. And so that's what this article is kind of just theorizing here, Brendo, that we're bumping up here on the upcoming potential of robotics.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking to Randy here as well about this morning, and some of the stuff coming out of China, the alternatives and the affordability of those are just off the charts at this point as well. So work to do. This was yesterday, but work to do. Elon Musk predicting 80% of Tesla's value going to come from said Optimus and robots in the near future, guys.
Well, I think he's going to be right on that one.
I think it's all about time frame. Like if there is a robot in everybody's home doing all the stuff that we don't want to do, then of course that makes a heck of a lot of sense. Like you're not actually, like I'm not seeing anybody. There's a bunch of different EVs out there, but I'm not actually seeing anybody that has any kind of a model out there like Optimus, at least not in North America. And certainly, it does provide that sort of that thing to look at that's not tied to full self-drive, automation, robotaxi, or a new cheaper model, or just simply revamping what may be a stale line, right? Like it gives you something to look forward to. What we should be paying attention to as traders is just the very gentle path to the upside that Tesla's been on. It dips for a few days, it catches a higher low on the daily chart, and then resumes back into the high. So it dips for a few days, catches a higher low, and then pushes back into these local tops. It's not breaking out in any big sense. So you get a few days worth of rally. It's typically moving like 10, 12% off the low, and then hitting a new high, just slightly higher, and then pulling back. So in that pattern, we just bounced day one here on Tesla. I do believe we have some upgrades and downgrades to get to, though, from Joe.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. All right, let's take a look at what we have on the upgrades and downgrades list. At the top of it, we have Chipotle getting that price target raised to $55. And second, we have Alibaba Group by Arthur getting that price target raised to $152. And then Heinz Craft, surprisingly, on the upgrade side, price target raised to $29 by Morgan Stanley. And then we have Wynn Resorts also getting the nod to $145. Now, on the downside, we have Candle Therapeutics by B of A with that price target lowered to $7, and then Zencor also getting it lowered by B of A to $12. Now, Six Flags getting it downgraded to $27, and then Constellation Brands, yes, getting that price target lowered to $123, guys.
All right, thanks Joe, for that one. Look, I think the one that interests me the most out of all of that is going to be Chipotle. What happened to the chart? There it is right here. Like, talk about getting beat up and now finally catching an upgrade. So, again, without reading the report, I just think, you're down here at $41. You go long today. Remember, I mean, if you're trying to make a swing trade, like 5 or 10%, isn't that bad. You drop in 10 grand, you make 10%, it's $1,000. Even if you make 5%, take 500. I mean, from here, 42 and change, I think there's a chance to get back up here. Now we're gonna have to figure out what that story is all about. Look at other stocks like Kava, Sweet Greens, or whoever, some of these, sort of do it yourself. Like once you go back to work, Starbucks, things like that. I mean, I think more and more people starting to head back to work now. and potentially, trying to breathe some life back into some of these lunch spots again. But yeah, for Chipotle to be upgraded when it's down here, I think that you never want to catch a falling knife. I don't know if you're catching one anymore. You're kind of just hovering near these bottoms, and we've seen stocks take off from some of these lows. So interesting there. Might be worth reading the report just to see what's going on there with Chipotle. So I don't know. It's out of summertime now. People are heading back to work, back to school, things like that. I think some of these more fasty food places could start to pick up a bit as parents become busier and people are more at home and more activities happening. People catching food.
Yeah,
back to work. I don't know. To me, it makes a little bit of sense.
It'll double bottom there, Chipotle.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot there.
At some point, they're not going anywhere. At some point, you're going to catch a little bit of a bid. I've never really been. I don't know, I own restaurant rents for a bit, I guess. But one of the names on the list, Alibaba, it's weird because Alibaba was so absurd on Friday, and then we didn't really, and then that was kind of it. Like, it did the ridiculous move. They're competing chip with NVIDIA, and that was sort of all the rage for a day. And to be honest, it had a really good day yesterday, and that also flew under the radar, and now it catches a bit of an upgrade. It's meandering in the middle here, doing a heck of a lot of nothing because the Chinese market was relatively weak overnight. But this one looks pretty spicy in Alibaba. I think it's in the consolidation phase after that Friday news, especially with this pullback. But 134, you closed on Friday just above that 134. They got bought up huge at the open through the 134. That seems like it could be something that gets tested here on Alibaba. So, and it wasn't just about the new, making their own chip or anything. Like, they had strong growth in their cloud in the mid to high 20% range. Year-over-year growth. So that was fantastic for them. So Baba was hitting all cylinders, relatively cheap valuation compared to some other tech companies that we have here. So I do still like them. That 34 looks like a good spot here today for Alibaba. Weird that it's so strong Friday and then again on Monday without that much of a peep. I don't mind it when a stock can make moves like that and it's kind of quiet to everybody. It's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. But still lots to cover, of course, and let's get back onto the desk. I guess Raheem is stuck in this horrible Toronto traffic, which is...
Wah. The guy can walk from here. It's a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, he's not very far. And
10-minute walk.
The traffic also not that bad this time.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are.
Funny, like whenever I'm late, I just blame traffic. That's what happens around here. So shout out to Raheem. Hopefully he'll come through. And if he doesn't, we can hit him up a little bit.
Who am I going to trash talk about Sunday night's game? If he's not here,
I know it's too bad that game's happening on Sunday. We taled about that already.
Oh.
Like it'd be nicer if it was like week 3 or 4.
Yeah,
but
some of the best things in the NFL schedule, the best games, like opening weekend. I don't know that that's when I want that big matchup. It's kind of how I felt about.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I was just saying you could have walked here, man.
Yes.
Look at that suit.
Wow. Okay, you're looking way too sharp.
Look at this guy. You got a court appearance or something? That looks really nice, man. Oh, my God. This guy's here defending Lisa Cook or something over here. All right.
Needs the help.
Looks great. Raheem is here, so we're happy with that. We heard mining names going to be discussed a little bit today. So the sharp-dressed man has arrived in the building. Handsome,
yes.
Sharp-dressed, looking great. It's Raheem Alani from OCI. So he's going to get all mic'd up here. He's going to kick Sharif out of his spot. And then we're going to get ready to rock and roll here in just a matter of time. Okay, well, if I can get more super chats like this, then I can buy Raheem Alani's suit potentially. I only need a couple more hundred of these super chats. Okay. Good morning, gentlemen. The super chat is in gratitude for the work that you do. Hats off to you. This is from Jorge Bados. What's up, Jorge or George? You do. Yesterday before the market closed, I took a long position in the money on Google just by put attention to what are you guys saying? Well, wait a minute. I took a long position in the money on Google just by put attention to what you guys are saying. Oh, paying attention. I think you were saying there. So, yeah, I mean, that was a random thing that we talked about. I've been saying now for, how long has the show been going on? For 6-7 years, that the market is a very, very rigged machine. And yesterday, you saw that happen right there, right in the forefront here, when somebody got wind of something. And Google, we talked about it. We said tomorrow's trade today is going to be Google. And that was before the news. So what's up to Jorge? And, thanks for watching and for paying attention. And look, I mean, I wish any of us knew that this move was going to happen because, I mean, a lot of us, the amount of money that you could make playing options on a name like Google, is crazy because there's no way any options implied a 7% move even till week end, you know, and then you get it in one day. So I can't even imagine the thousands and thousands of percentage points that some of these options would have been up if you would have played something like this just to hope that, you know, a continuation into today. So there it is, man, 7%. Thank you, Jorge, for all that. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. They're at 1,000%. I don't know if people are saying that, but that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. And yesterday we got messages about like, you know, I made 100% on this trade or that trade or this trade. This is like, you know, when you hit the home runs, it's always really nice to do that. So, you know, today some of you might have hit that home run. It doesn't look like it wants to pull back at all here into the pre-market. So I would say hold tight on Google. I'm just going to get the sticky note out here. And I definitely liking the long here. So I don't think there's any problems there today. Hey, maybe that's a trend. Let's see if we can find stocks that are misbehaving, basically.
That's what I'm saying.
In the afternoon.
When you find that kind of, and it's not, we joke around saying it's algo buying, but it's so absurdly distinct. And the other thing that's been ridiculous on Google is all those mini flash crashes in the last couple of weeks have been bought up like gangbusters. And what happened, it was one on Apple yesterday as well. Like there was a mini flash crash, which usually when you lose the bid like that, it's the sign of weakness, but it was like insta-bought up. Like there was only a couple of seconds before they bought it right back up. And it's been on both of those two stocks, and lo and behold, what are the two stocks that get some positive news? So like an algo out there was definitely tasked with accumulating on those. And when we can find things like that, we try to take advantage of it. And when we can find guests like Raheem, we make sure we bring him on air so you guys can learn.
When he arrives. All right.
There he is.
There he is.
He found his way through the, we were just talking about the simple fact that the calendar flips over to September and people just appear again in traffic.
They're all somewhere. They're all hibernating.
I don't know where they go. But
summer hibernation, and they all just showed up.
It's crazy how much traffic there is. Anyways, good to see you.
Yeah.
I was reading an interesting article yesterday about the Canadian market that caught my attention simply because you and I were sitting here going back to probably March, April, around the bottom, whenever that was, April, talking about all of the sectors that were going to be affected or potentially could be affected by these tariffs when they get put into place, which we are obviously still not clear on. But it actually ended up being, it was mining, materials, and industrials were among the top 10 sectors performance-wise on the TSX to date.
Yeah.
Consumer discretionary, I think, was the first one. It was about 30% on the year. The others, 8, 10, 11% year to date. More or less a normal year, given the headlines that we anticipated to play out, yet to. A bit of a surprise.
No, and it is a big surprise because A, we didn't really know what was going to happen. That was the first piece. It could be, was it going to be 10? Was it going to be 50? Was it going to be 300? We had no idea.
Yeah.
A. B, we kind of knew with respect to oil and gas, energy, like that was kind of going to be a safe place because you can't just hike up the price of gas on innocent Americans.
Yeah.
That would be unfortunate, right? And the other sectors that we talked about, the ones that you just talked about that have gone up incrementally more, are those ones that have had to sort of do the right management tools to facilitate in case this happens. The consumer products, the industrials, mining materials, those have just gone parabolic, and we should just have a separate session like we normally do on mining because that's what's happened. But I think that's kind of what everyone's figured out how things are going to work, or what might happen.
Well, you made a good point when you sat down here this morning, simply saying that if you look at all of these charts, we'll run through a few charts here, they more or less look the same. There was April, and then there's now. And there's a huge difference between where we're trading, April to now. So let's talk about a few here. We'll start in the industrial sector. MG, that's not MG, but MG was the first one that you.
Magna's a name. Everyone knows about it. We've talked about it, not to death, but we've talked about it a fair number of times. Auto parts, tariffs, like those just are going to happen, given that they supply all over Canada, all over Mexico, all over the US. Products that are coming into the country are all over there. So, but you look at that April 8th, everyone thought end of the world because Magna supplies all to the US. What's going to happen? April 8th, you saw that bottom hit, and now it's gone right back up.
That's 45%.
On a very, very large, I don't know if it's a, it's a very large cap stock in Canada, in Canadian terms.
Yeah.
Americans are probably like ho-hum.
But like you said, one of the top of the top when it comes to what's going to be affected.
Oh yeah, and a stalwart Canadian name, been around forever, and you don't get a 45% lift on Magna. It just doesn't happen.
Ever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's get through a few here. CAE, the next one.
Yeah, civil aviation, they have a normal course issuer bid in. I've always said, if you love yourself, you buy yourself. So they've been doing that, and they reinstalled that. Look at that stock, April 8th, you saw that stock go down to $21. It's back up to 25. It hit a high of 29. Exact same thing, up 40%. You could have picked up a 40% if you had the wherewithal to go and do something like that on April 8th. But we've seen that move right back up to where it was and 20% above that.
Yeah, 42 at the top, 28 where we are today. LNR, the next one here, Linamar.
Again, just bringing that into context, just looking at that chart, I'm looking at it right now in front of us. You look at that lift, and it's actually gone even above where it was prior to that April 8th drop-off. So we're seeing with these industrial names just kind of keep performing. And again, it's just everyone's figured out, if good management knows how to do things, knows how to cut costs, knows how to find new markets, that's going to be the big thing for all these companies because we don't know what's going to happen with the US.
Linamar is in which end of the world, manufacturing?
They provide technology services to manufacturing.
Okay, so LNR, 70% to the upside, April to today, essentially. Everybody knows Shopify. We'll stop in tech land here very quickly. This is the TSX version of Shop.
Just a quick little hi hello to Shopify there, and it is our largest Canadian name. But I think what we are seeing, it did get up. It did hit November 21, December 21 was around their kind of all-time highs.
Yeah.
I think we started creeping up right back towards that around that 150 US mark. Got up into 154.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a lot of profit taking. Still weren't sure where the world was going to go. So we've seen it trail back a bit. So it just depends on how bullish you think you want to be on Shopify, but it's getting near that all-time high again.
Yeah, nice reversal candle there yesterday, up better part of 70%.
That's what I should have said, reversal candle.
There you go.
There you
Come
go.
on, Raheem.
I'll learn trading one day, guys.
Yeah, get your technical jargon out here. ALA, tell us about that one.
This is just a nice midstream AltaGas, a nice midstream energy name. They only do 12% of their business in Asia, which means they have not diversified enough. Now, if everything is right with the US, this is going to be a fantastic play. Are they going to be able to get that figured out? That is one of those names that, let's just see what happens on the US side.
So
what will they be able to figure out?
I mean, 20%. Sorry, it's only 20% for an ALA. But when you zoom out, again, the point here is simply, if you zoom out and go back to when Raheem and I were sitting here having this conversation earlier in the year, essentially saying these are the areas of the world that we have to be most concerned about.
Right.
To see 50%, 60%, 70%, 115% returns April to now, it's just remarkable.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible to see. And again, the energy names haven't had that as much of a delta because generally they are ensconced in their businesses.
Takeover offer here for MEG, M-E-G.
Yeah, this is a name we've talked about many, many times. Strathcona put in an unsolicited. MEG said no to it. Cenovus, which is a very large energy company, put in a takeover on it. They are at $27.25 on the takeover. That was announced about 10 days ago. And it's trading at $28.50. So somebody knows something. Is Strathcona Waterous going to come back with another bid to move this up? Potentially. This one is very backed with debt, but it's a very good opportunity on the Canadian side. But look at what that might be, because again, if it's trading 4% above a premium takeout offer, something might be going on.
Yeah, nearly 52-week highs for MEG, not near all-time highs, but pretty much close. You had an interesting note on India here, conference coming up.
Yeah, no, India's with everything that's happening and wherever Prime Minister Modi goes, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but the Indian economy has been gangbusters. It's been rolling. And as we've chatted about here, I've had the privilege to be appointed as the chief representative in Canada for India's Chamber of Commerce. And for the first time ever, there's going to be a conference happening in India, September 18th and 19th. So if you happen to be in India, please drop us a note, and we'd be happy to see if we can get you in there. But there's going to be about 400 people, 20 countries, so each country is going to bring 10 delegates to this conference. You're going to have 20 countries, 10 people from each country, 200 people from India, all meeting on a business platform for India's Chamber of Commerce 100th anniversary. So I think it'll be a really interesting mix because you might meet somebody from Germany who's looking at India and you happen to be sitting in Saudi Arabia, and then all of a sudden there's a business combination that happens over there.
I mean, it's still absolutely exploding. We were trying to figure out how to make the timing work to maybe
We'll try and get some content for you guys while we're over there. I mean, it is small time difference, but we'll see what we can do. But there is going to be a fantastic business opportunity. So drop Brendan a line if you want to come and attend the conference, and we'll see if Raheem can work it out for you.
Raheem will pay for it. Glad you made it.
Yes.
Good to see you as always.
And happy back to school to all the kids.
Yeah.
My little guy, my nephews, all starting brand new schools. So good luck to everybody starting school. And me and Neil are gonna have a side bet real quick on Sunday night. So drop in the comments what the wager should be on Ravens Bills.
No comment, apparently.
They can drop it in the comments. We're giving it to the audience. Whatever you want me and Neil to bet, Ravens Bills, we will make that wager, and then one of us will fulfill that wager right here on the show next time I'm back in studio. We're going to fulfill that wager. Maybe it's the death chip thing.
I don't know if Neil wants to go down that road, but
I just threw him on the spot. So.
You know, well, hold on a second. First of all, I've painted my face on the show. I've done for all kinds of bets. It's you don't want the humiliation bets in the crowd. That's what you don't want.
They bet. I think it was a World Cup, or maybe it was a Euro Cup.
No, it was a Euro Cup. It was Euro Cup.
Yeah, and Italy won, and Neil had to put a time.
All right. Well, I'm willing to make that wager, but we have to leave it to the audience, Neil. We have to let them drop it in the comments. Best comment. That's the wager. I'm in.
Done. Thanks, Raheem.
Here.
I mean, I don't know how Raheem's allowing our chat to determine.
That's a horrible decision.
He's going to get.
It's a terrible decision.
All Neil wants is a little sticker on the face. I mean, this could get nasty out here.
Shave your head. Someone just said.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. You can't
the
get
the death chip, which would be the Packy chip.
Yeah.
We're not doing the Packy. We're not.
This is
doing
what I'm
the Packy
saying. Now
chip
it's
challenge.
getting out of hand.
That's
here.
absolutely not happening. No, we could ghost pepper, pineapple pizza. We've done pineapple pizza before, so
None of these are good.
Like that's old news. You guys can come up with something better than that. But there's a lot of Ravens fans apparently in this chat, and I don't think the game matters that much. Outside of the fact that these are the two best teams, I forget about the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the two best teams in
the AFC.
In the AFC, and that's one of these two teams is going to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So, it'll be a big battle. And
I'd say that's probably.
I wish Baltimore all the best, except for on Sunday. But Shopify, the reversal candle, those are good, right? That's what that looks like.
I love Shopify.
Been pulling back. And a nice little reversal here on Shopify. So if you like these types of setups. We were just talking about Palantir pulling back and then maybe catching a bit at the 50. Tesla pulls back for a few days and then follows trend. And sometimes you see something like this and you have a little bit of a trend now that you've made a temporary bottom at a prior high there on Shop. HIMS is moving around.
Yeah, we just
now.
heard some more.
Yeah, and we just
there. Google taking out highs as well. Google now up 7%.
Google's an absolute beast, but HIMS bouncing off of the 200-period moving average as well and catching a bit of a bit. Didn't see any news on it. Or hear any news, I should say, but that's a decent enough spike that you would think there might be something going on. So relief rallies everywhere, apparently, and HIMS is getting some love as well, up 4%. But Alphabet 7, Apple 3.8% to the upside. Palantir just took the high of the day; it's up a point as well. So so far so good. It is looking like a pretty bullish morning. There's not a heck of a lot that's weak. Even Dollar Tree gained back some of the losses from aftermarket.
Not sure what is weak there.
There's not much. Not
down
much.
A little bit. It's now flat. Amazon's flat. Yeah, thanks, Raheem. All right, it's 9:08. That was some good talk there. Some takeout candidates, buyouts, this and that. It was a good one. Thanks, Raheem, for coming through one more time. And there's lots of different spaces. I know we always talk about pretty much primarily the tech space as far as the trade is concerned, but obviously to diversify, there's some love for that too. And I'm very diversified, but it's just now the tech names have really started to fly. And Shopify, we always mention that. And the Canadian banks have
they've been great.
Oh boy. I just looked up my largest Canadian holding, even including the CDRs, which I'm all loaded up in tech names, is actually now Bank of Nova Scotia and BNS. Look at this chart here.
I think I still have
this has just been, this is in Toronto, but you can grab it in New York as well. It's BNS, same type of ways. But this is one that just gets dripped in all the time into the account. And I mean, this has just been Canadian banks, what? Like this was $63.85 and change, and it's not alone. I mean, if we go over here in the U.S. side of things, I mean, you guys may be more familiar with it, TD Bank. It's very, very similar there. TD Bank went from last year's, this quarter, they lost 181 million. This year they made 2 billion, something like that. So look at this move, 78 up to 103, 104. It's not going to be as much as Bank of Nova Scotia, but all the banks are making these kind of moves. Straight fire, very similarly to what's been happening on the U.S. side of things as well. So Canada, much more than just energy and timber. Timber!
Timber?
I think something falling around here pretty soon. The studio is getting ready, man. We were sitting at some of these desks behind us yesterday.
Testing
getting ready
lighting.
for a whole new move happening here. We'll be flipped around eventually, and it should be a lot of fun with what we're putting together right here. And the big boss is in town today, so everyone's scrambling to work hard, making it look like everybody's busy. You know, around here. When he's not here, I don't hear anybody. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's really busy today, so that should be fun.
Networking cables coming in.
The networking cables are coming in. We should just go all Wi-Fi, right? And then, yeah.
Oh,
no risk to that.
No, that's not
at all. But
wired connection to trade.
Yes, that's very important. I remember when I was opening up offices, it was always like people always used to ask about Wi-Fi. I think it's a little bit more accepted now.
It's better now than it was years
with
ago,
all the mesh and all that stuff, you guys can get great Wi-Fi connections. But
well, this is a good one. So, no, that's not bad.
People trade on the beach, man. People like, what do you think? What life I'm trying?
We've seen plenty of.
I mean, this is the life I'm trying to get to, man. I'm trying to be here a couple more years and just chilling out on the beach.
Swing trading is a bit different, though.
Me and Randy gonna go ice fishing. I'm gonna be trading Google ice fishing. Yeah,
oh, hell!
And this is what I'm saying. Because I'm gonna get a place up north.
Ice fishing.
But when it's summer, when it's winter, what am I gonna do, Neil? What are you gonna do? Just sit around and
you don't have to ice. You don't have to ice fish, though.
Yeah, you do.
I've turned down every single ice fishing invitation that I've gotten. My brother-in-law,
I've never been ice fishing, so
my wife's youngest sister. Her husband he's big into it, and they live like 5 hours up north.
Yeah, well, I would never go that far, but
I'm like, no, that's good. You guys have fun. You're not going to catch me out there with you.
No, I would definitely
once maybe, but no, maybe once. I'll try anything once, really, when it comes down to it. But
yeah, good. I mean, you should try ice fishing. I've never tried it.
I can guarantee I'm not going to like.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna come right to Brazil. What's up, Lyndon Meyer? Is that where you're at there? You're in Brazil over there? You can't do any ice fishing in Brazil, though, my guy. All right, 9/11. Let's go something called the watch list. Let's go discuss it.
True.
64.25, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. So we definitely defended that area. We spoke about yesterday, 63.75, the area low back from the 20th of August to the 22nd. So we held that area. We were also below 20 on the RSI. So we bounced right back up. We're showing 50 here, Brendo. So we're going to look at 64.75 as our initial resistance level if we continue trending up, with the overnight high being 64.60. If we sell off for whatever reason, we're going to look at yesterday's low, 64.25 as support.
All right, let's go. Lots to understand this morning. If you haven't done so yet, grab the watch list. It's free. Why not? Go down to the description of this video right now. Top link will take you to the sign up page. You need your email address, and that is all. It comes right to your inbox then. Every single morning. Google, I mean, we can maybe even combine these top two. Google and Apple to the upside in a big way here. If you missed it after the close yesterday, we get this favorable ruling for Alphabet on the antitrust case. So remember, everybody wanted to buy Chrome. Probably not going to happen.
No, probably not, Brendo, unless they win on appeal somehow and it all changes. But this is really interesting for both companies. So they're not going to have to divest either Android or Chrome. So they're going to be able to continue to collect information on that and, develop Gen AI. They're going to also be able to enter into these agreements with companies like Apple, paying Apple about $50 billion a year. However, they're not going to be exclusive agreements, meaning that Apple can actually go and, contract somebody else, perhaps like an OpenAI. Just give you an idea, Google spent about $26 billion in 2021 on default search engine agreements with partners like Apple, Samsung, Mozilla, etc. And the lawsuit goes back to Trump 1.0, actually, back in 2020, arguing default search deals entrenched its search monopoly. So this judge basically saying, look, AI is super nascent. I don't want to make a decision that's going to affect the course of, the future for AI. So here's what I'm giving. Very, very basic decision, Brendan.
Interesting angle on this as well is the Tesla question mark. Remember, Elon was bringing up the simple fact that if OpenAI becomes the Chrome of AI apps on platforms like Apple or Android, is that going to be legal or an antitrust issue as well?
Very interesting.
He was essentially saying that they should all, Perplexity and obviously Grok and everything he's doing, XAI, should have the same capability to be able to be on these platforms as well. Apple, on the other hand, to the upside on that win as well, because that's a lot of revenue coming into their pocket. So 2 here to deal with, guys. Google or Apple today?
Both?
Best part about it.
You can pick one.
All right, see you, Raheem. We're getting some survivor pool picks. All right, are we still talking about stocks? All right, see you, man. See you.
We want to be long both of them? That's the best way to think about it. Like, I don't think you have to.
Google's like Green Bay and like Apple's like the Bills, maybe.
I don't think you have to. Yeah, I don't think you have to pick today. I think both of them look really good. Alphabet, this is a continuation of something that was already happening on Google. So, this had not only been trending up, but had broken out above trend line and then was trending into what, in theory, was setting up for a pretty clean 215 break. What are you going to do? Like, it was really set up for a 215 break that just happened overnight. So at this point, when you're up this high, it's a blue sky setup, and I don't have levels for blue sky setups. I just look at things like VWAP and the pre-market low. Like, that's it. This is a big win for them, and we've sort of gone over all the reasons why they didn't necessarily get enough credit for the other segments of the business, and everyone was sort of focused on the search and this aspect. So this is going to be great for them. And then when we come down to Apple here, it's a little bit weaker. So I think I have to start looking at Apple first because it's under VWAP of that 3.5%. And it is potentially pulling back into prior high. Like on the daily, it's 235 is that prior high, so that's the level that I'm looking for the dip here in Apple. I think we have a decent chance of that one coming back in, just given the way that it's selling off. Google's only been going up so far, so I think Apple's the one that has a better chance to get the first dip. But for Alphabet, I think as long as it trends up, you're looking at VWAP right now for a pullback, and Apple seems a little more likely to come into 35 before that happens.
Yeah, what's up, Chef Joe? Yeah, that Tesla's been amazing, and let me know if you want to sell me one of your Model Ys. Yeah, so right into here, I have written down here for Google, I should edit this because I have to push enter and get all these going here. But I have Google 223 as well, VWAP, pre-market entries, basically. I don't know if we're going to do Apple as well with this story or not, but for me, you can go find it all over there on the sticky note. And I just think that's 223 right there. I don't think we're going to drip into that, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen right off the open. I could see some profit taking. Like I said, anybody that has Google that's trying to swing it or has an option or anything like that, I could obviously see some exercising here right off the open, which could force a sale. So I would think anything into this 223 seems to be pretty gold for me. And then I said use VWAP. Well, VWAP is not the greatest on this chart because I don't have it 24 hours. But right into here, that's where it would be 224 or so. So I feel like dip buying into that area for Google is something. I mean, I like the stock. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the reasons why I like it. I mean, Sharif and Neil just sort of pounded the table on the story. So let's just trade it long. I don't want to be short the name. I don't think it's a bull trap. I don't think any of that stuff. Google continues to win. Thing is, there's more ETFs now than stocks. Well, let that sink in, right? So this is the thing. When you have this kind of instant buying happening every month in everybody's account, it just creates euphoria when names start to go. Like people may be underinvested in Google and now want to get a piece of it, and even up 7%, people get this FOMO. People make decisions like this all the time. So I would just say be careful with the long breaking early, but definitely dip buying anything like this. I really like Google, and I can't see myself pushing the long straight off the open, but that's probably going to be right. I guess you got to wait for 230. Like I don't know. It's off to the races right now, waiting for pullbacks in Google. But wow, what a day! And this is a good day. Sometimes I say don't look at your long-term account. I would say yeah, you're getting close. You're bouncing off the 50 period for the Nasdaq, which is really good. Look, my largest holding is still the S&P 500, right, followed by the Nasdaq. But some of these individual names are getting spicy one more time. So, okay, yeah, I really, really like Tesla. Actually, it's not even on the list. But let's go back over and find out. I don't know if we're just going to skip Apple. We only have 12 minutes. But Apple strength, Google strength, and then Dollar Tree.
Touched on it quickly there. Just, I mean, it's basically the same story for Google and Apple today. Here's DLTR earnings coming in a little bit worse than expected. Initial move was higher. The call, I did see a couple of comments coming through, but we're back to basically lows here right now, 102 for DLTR. I mean, it's not a huge move. It could be worse.
Yeah, it's 7 2/3, Brendo. And when I was looking at it, it was initially positive. So let's talk about how they did. Their adjusted EPS came in at 77 pennies. That beat the street's expectations of 42 pennies. Not bad. Their total revenue came in at 4.57 billion, topping the consensus estimate of 4.48 billion. So an easy beat on the top and bottom line. And their net sales grew 6.5% year over year, supported by a 3% traffic increase. And that's not comps. So that's just basically all their new stores, as well as the ones that were open a year and more. Now they're guiding fiscal year net sales to between $19.3 to $19.5 billion. That's up from the prior guide of $18.5 to $19.1. So not a bad guide there. Their comparable store net sales, though, expected to grow 4 to 6%. They guided earlier 3 to 5. So another beat there. Adjusted EPS outlook, they also lifted that $5.32 down to $5.72. The prior guide was $5.15 to $5.65. So I need to do a bit more of a deep dive, Brendo, because it was a beat on the top and bottom line. They guided higher, but they're down 7 3/4.
If you zoom out here, 100 is actually a decent level going all the way back to July, summer, I should say, of last year. So maybe just a pullback here. From that standpoint, actually a decent opportunity, possibly, guys.
Yeah, I think it was just the quarter outlook that was not that great here for Dollar Tree, but it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, that's a huge trend reverse for the stock. It kind of is what it is, man. And the 100 levels already bounced once. Maybe you look for the bounce there again, but it's done 1 million shares in volume. That's not huge. I joked to Sean, and like, DLTR, they mean PLTR, because that's stock that we actually look at every single day. No, maybe you can bounce off 100, but in the actual, I think you definitely need to give this the 3-day rule, because that's a trend break. It's lost the 50 period in here. Even if it gets a relief rally, like, I'd be thinking 06 and 08 are areas to maybe look for a fade trade. But speaking of PLTR, because as I said, the pattern continues off the 50 period. It's on my list today just because of this, or these bottoming tails and the riding of the 50 period moving average. And now it's trying to break away from that 158 level. So it's pretty simple. If it holds 158 at the open, like, it's already broken out this top, that 58 from yesterday, so it has to hold this at the open and then go from there. If it dips under 156, it is a mean revert at some point in the late morning if we get under 156, because it's closed above the 50 period every single day that it's tested. So on Palantir in particular, if it gets underneath that price, I'm biding my time and looking for that moment for the mean reversion. Consecutive closes, it's like 7 or 8 in a row, testing that 50 and then closing above. So that makes me bullish on Palantir today.
Yeah, I really like some Palantir every day, but today for me, what about Tesla right here? 336 long breakout news on robotics, positive mentions, Optimus cruising around right here. So I think for me, 336 right here on Tesla, a break long. You're trying to sort of base out here on TSLA, looking to break through. I mean, it's not really a breakout until you break through this 365 area, but trying to bounce and trying to get going here. Positive mentions all morning for Tesla, up 1.7%, much outpacing the market here. Look at the shiny thing in the store with Google and Apple, but Tesla right now could be something that also works out. And then we're not going to get to it, but I do like Open Door as well, breaking out again off that $5 mark. So, it's at the bottom. Okay, so we'll talk about Open Door when it gets there. But again, another idea that we're working with. So let's go Tesla, as people are saying there in the chat. And I guess Donald Trump is driving that red thing around the White House. Yeah. I guess now, because now they're friends again. So I don't know. Was that a Model S?
Friends, or are they just like not?
Oh, they're best friends, man. These guys are best friends. All right, let's go back over the desk.
Well, just for play.
Yeah.
A red Model S plaid. Here's Macy's. Huge move here. Better part of 15%. There is this level if you go all the way back to February, March, which is 1580, 16-ish. We're not there yet, but Decent report here for Macy's.
Quite good, Brendo, and the tariffs were not as much of an impact as they were guiding the previous quarter. So here's how they did, guys. Adjusted EPS came in at 41 pennies, destroying the 18 pennies expected by the street and more than double the consensus there. Revenue of 4.81 billion beat the 4.76 expected by the street, but it is down year over year. They actually printed 4.94 billion this time last year. Net income, their take-home money, $87 million, or about 31 pennies per share. Again, that's down year over year. They took $150 million home as profit last year. They raised their full-year EPS outlook to $1.70 to $2.05. That's up from the prior guide of $1.60 to $2. The revenue guidance as well lifted, Brendo, $21.5 billion to $21.45 billion for the full year, up from the 21 to 21.4 previously guided. It includes, though, the guidance that is, includes expected tariff impacts, which now Macy's says is baked into the forecast. CEO Tony Spring said revamped stores and refreshed assortments are what's driving the increased customer engagement and some of the growth categories that his company is experiencing. Denim, women's contemporary apparel, and watches. And he emphasized, Brendo, a leaner inventory to kind of keep costs down as the tariff impact continues to kind of manifest.
We were just talking about also on the retail side of things, we were just talking about Ford, 3.9% increase in August sales. Didn't do anything on that number, but worth noting here, a decent level for Ford as well, guys.
And Macy's 11% short float and trades at like 7 times. Yikes. Usually that's not a good, sometimes it's not a good sign when you're single digits in the PE because it just means that no one is expecting any growth out of you, but a squeeze can certainly be the case. The only thing I don't love about it is already at what the double top from the beginning of the year was at $16, and it already not reversed is the wrong word, already bounced away from that $16 level. So I think a pullback proved that you can hold VWAP at the open because the move has gone from step A to step B here to that $16 level already. So if it can't break through 16, I think you got to be patient for Macy's for some dip buys. But it's not necessarily, it didn't make the list. It'll certainly be on a watch today for sure because of that short float. But it's already made the most of its move. Whereas the name next on the list is finally closed above that 5 and has, I believe, room to go.
I think you're looking to look at a name like Target again, that it's kind of like, it's not getting an upgrade or anything like that, but it kind of reminds me of, we looked at Chipotle before, and this actually has much more memory all the way back into April, where we hold this $90 or so mark. You know, we talked about this trying to break out here, and never really happened. We got one day, that was earnings day, so we don't really have the breakout in Target that we were sort of hoping. I thought, you know, we were talking about it basing, and then trying to break this. But again, the same memory that comes in for the bottom comes in for the top. So, you know, I think if you like retail, I know Macy's is a different name than Target with it being clothing primarily, but I think this is a good area here for TGT. I don't know. I just like too many tech names to be running into Target, but I think that that's a decent area as well. So, all right, back over to the desk. 3 minutes left.
Nice day yesterday for Open Door. We're extending, I mean, it's coming back in a little bit here. We're extending that, though, once again this morning on decent volume. Not a heck of a lot as far as news, though.
No, as we get more interest rate talk, Brendo, and Waller was just on TV saying we're going to have multiple cuts by the end of the year. Didn't describe what multiple was, but we're already pricing in a couple.
Waller.
There's this as well, Brendo. Open interest changes here for September 3rd. No pun intended. So apparently Tesla and Open saw the greatest growth in the open interest. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, and Lucid as well. The guys were talking about that a little bit yesterday, but more to come possibly here, guys, for Open today.
Well, just quickly on Lucid, like is every single day on after the reverse split, going to be looking for the short. This time into like 18.10 and then the 19 area. But Open Door, it closed above $5. It's been rejecting $5. We kept pointing it out that that $5 would break and then we would fail it within the same day. Well, it was able to get there and hold and now consolidate over. So it's, you know, it's pretty simple. As long as we can hold that on a dip in the 5, that's where we look for it. If it can't, if we don't get any bounce, as the imbalances have come on in here, if we don't get any bounce right away at the $5 level, then I can be patient for a reversion for it to reclaim that level. NEO is an early sell of 2 million shares. That's a pretty decent size for NEO. Macy's a buy of 550,000, Snap 250,000. That's not the smallest. And then Open 200,000 sell on Open. But NEO, that's actually a pretty decent size sell on NIO. Did it move? No. Barely even moved on a 2 million sell and balance for NIO. That's weird.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Look out for those tickers on the imbalance locator. People asking about the sticky note. It's right here. It's also on Instagram. You can see you just go like this: Google, Apple, Open Door, Tesla, TQs, and then there's the note right here. So on Instagram, I'll put this in the chat if you guys want it. We're on Instagram and we're on X, so you can go find both of those if you are interested to know what I'm going to be trading today. Just to start off with here, you might as well go to Google. I think the first trade we'll be into is Tesla, but we'll have to watch out for Google. So Tesla, again, I'm going to try to take out, join this move here at 336. We just got into it and then faded back out there. And again, we do have those imbalances, so something to look out for over on that side of things. Apple, I wrote down 237 possible low there, and that's what it's trying to bounce off right here. That's the 200 period moving average. I don't want to take anything right now at the levels that I wrote down, just too early. But you know, if the market does fall, the other name obviously is the TQs, as they're all pulling down a little bit right now. So watch out to get a couple fills here around 88 for the TQQs. Google, Apple, Tesla, Open Door at 5, and that's about it for me. So here we go.
Oh, that's right. And the opening bell brought to you by VinFast VFS. You can find them, and let's ring it in. How about right about now? Oh, there was also news on SMR. Good story for SMR, but it's so far away from 37.5. I don't know if we're going to get it. Apple is, you probably just heard Sean mention that Apple off the open did bounce off that 37. Maybe we won't get 35 after all.
Tesla got washed too.
Tesla just hit lower.
Tesla hit 333. Right there. Tesla just dropped down $3 basically. Right there off the jump. So now Apple's going down. Everything's coming back in just a little bit now. Tesla's trying to find a base there at this 333 where we've got VWAP chilling out, but I don't know, man. It is starting to get a little bit nasty right there for Tesla. We'll wait for it. I said, and I sort of said, there goes Apple. Apple does go up to 238 and then now is fading around this 237 marker. So I still think it's a little early to be into all of this as people look like they're trying to sell the news.
Boeing gapped down.
Boeing, I just heard that story about Boeing. They're gapping a little bit there. So Adair's going to go over the story in a minute with us on Apple, Boeing, if she gets it. But Apple's the move right now down. So is Google, man. Google's, I remember I said this, there should be some profit taking at some point here in these names, right? So no surprise here as Google looking a bit lower as well. We wrote down 223 for Google. I don't know, that seems a little bit low, but here it comes right now into 225.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Boeing down
take a little bit.
About $3 off of the open instantly. It did grab loose. I said I would short loose it into that 18.10 area from yesterday. If that breaks, wait for the 19. But it is Apple holding up pretty decently here. It's not into 235. So if we end up liquidity grabbing the pre-market low, I'm still going to wait for 235. But if we liquidity grab this low, I can always get back in on a quick little trend break over 37. But for now, we're trending back in to the downside 100% here on this name. And then SMR was another one that was a little bit of a late addition to the list. That is a huge reversal on SMR. It just dropped $1 to get right back above VWAP, so 37.5. I already canceled my order down there. This might end up being a breakout trade instead on SMR. Got to be long.
All right, we have one trade on right now. It's Google. We're long right here at 225.60, so 30 cents in the money. We're going to see if it wants to continue to make higher moves here into Google, but we got to wait still. So quick in and out. Like, so we took it right here at 80. We got some more at 25, and we got some out at 85. So, you know, a nice little up and down here for Google, but it's still got to go if we're going to do anything with this name. Apple's still trying to dance as well. Tesla right here. Wow, Tesla, like this is getting killed.
What is happening?
Right now, Tesla, big move to the downside for Tesla, but it's all about Google for me, man. We're really crushing this right here on Google, but yeah, Tesla losing its way. I mean, Google's got to go. We're not really doing anything yet, but let's see if that wants to get to the upside here. I'm waiting for 226 break now on Google, and yeah, Tesla, congratulations, man. You're just getting absolutely kicked. Down to 231 and change. Let's go Google. Let's figure out what's going on with Tesla. What's up, Adara?
So here's the Boeing news, which is actually not necessarily negative. WestJet announcing that they're expanding their fleet here with an order for 67 Boeing jets. This is apparently their largest order in WestJet's history for Boeing. So now they're going to have, I guess the total firm order is 123 aircrafts. Again, WestJet expanding here its orders with Boeing, 67 Boeing jets, including 60 737-10s. Back to you.
WestJet getting a lot of love with people hating on Air Canada around here, for sure. But yeah, Boeing really weak on that. But Lucid just broke that 1810, so we're out of that. SMR is continuing to rally as it just got through 40.5 or 240.5 after breaking out the top. Already a bit of a reversal candle coming in on SMR. I'm trying to get more at the volume weighted average price in here, see if we can't double up on the breakout trade. But it's the one thing that's crazy to me is Apple's not doing much of anything. Like, I thought that'd be the first thing we got into. I'm going to see if I can't get that 40.5 on SMR. But Apple is really starting to come back into that 230. Just hit 236.
We're huge everywhere.
Could be heading into 235 as well as that continues to go down. But the breakout on SMR definitely continuing here as that name, Tennessee Agreement, still has that good short float as well, up 7.5.
All right, good trade there on SMR. We're almost at our day goal right now, but it's pending because I don't want to get out of anything, and I'm not sure what this Tesla wants to do, man. Here it comes right back in. We got to watch out for 330. If
330?
If we break 330, I mean, I'm long here right now. We're long at 331.48. We got some out just slightly above 332 and whatnot, but oh boy, here it is, man. We said that where the money would be flying in today, Neil, and it's in Google. So right there, $1.30 now in the money on Google as it just taken off right there, back up to pre-market highs one more time. So we have the low of the day here on Google and the high of the day on Google. So we got to be pretty happy with that one. Not so happy with this one. I'm going to take one more shot down here on Tesla, and then we're going to give it to a 330 break. So 329 like and change breaking lower there on Tesla, and we gone on this name. But really happy getting some out there on the top of Google. The name is just doing what it's doing. I mean, there it is right back into the highs again. This is why you got to take some stuff out and never count those chickens before they hatch, because this is a wild ride here today. Neil mentioned Apple was dancing around a little bit there.
It's still falling.
So still falling. So yeah, so this news just slightly coming out of the stocks right now, because if you think about it, this was a surprise judgment. So,
yes.
You know, that probably took the market, and we said that there could be some selling early in these names as traders wake up and say, oh my gosh, to these plays. And, you know, it's working out on Google right now, the dip buy opportunity. We'll see if at some point it wants to work out on Apple. But look at the market, man. The market is what's hitting lower now.
We didn't talk about chips. NVIDIA just went red and tagged $170, right? So, you know, you do have AMD's down a half a point here. So it's not as if we covered absolutely everything. But let's look, before we go to Adara, Amazon breaking out and relatively strong. No questions asked. Let's go over to Adara, but Apple's at that 235, so I'm looking for my reversion now.
Keep an eye on Reddit. I'm not seeing any news on this, but RDDT really strong, roughly 700,000 shares traded on the day, so volume still isn't huge, and it's pulled back a bit, but good look for Reddit. Now, LYFT is also going to be on watch here. The company just announced the pricing of its $450 million convertible senior note offering. So here's LYFT, again, announcing the pricing of its $450 million convertible senior note offering. Now, at 10 a.m., we do have a notable piece of economic data. That'll be the JOLTS job opening, so stay tuned for that in about 23 minutes. We do not, though, have any data at 9:45. Back to you.
No.
Almost. Well, almost
yeah,
everything.
I mean, Google's
it's not everything.
ripping, but yeah, Apple.
I mean, there's individual names that are going. Like Google's going, Tesla's going down. SMR is still looking relatively strong. I forgot to look at the other sympathy plays, but it almost doesn't matter. But Apple just tagged that 235. Thank you, Jorge, for the super chat in here. Okay, lunch is on you. Cash out your one bag. Appreciate the super chat, Jorge. That was the second one. I think we got one from you earlier as well. So appreciate that for sure. The other name that we were looking at for the open, pun intended, was Open Door. It just bounced not quite off $5. I was sitting at $5.05 to start along in front of $5, but it bounced off $5.10. So this is at least holding up and giving you a bounce as the market's coming back in here. It's more of a squeeze name, so if the market continues to drop, this could be a nice little safe haven play for Open. I just wanted to get back in and maybe retest that low. Thought we'd be looking at 5 even instead of 5.10. In a stock like that, usually if you're long in front of 5, like I want 2s, 3s, 4s, maybe some 5s. I just heard it was a swing trader buying Reddit. That's the story?
I heard something similar to that as well, so I don't really know. The only trade,
beast mode.
Yeah, the only trade that we're losing on, well, we've only taken 2 trades. I mean, obviously, this Google trade is just hot fire. But we've taken a couple shots here on Tesla, and it hasn't worked. I just tried a 230 break there again, and it didn't work. I thought maybe Tesla wanted to get going there through 230, but it doesn't look like, 330. It doesn't look like it, there it goes. It doesn't look like it wanted to do that, so we'll take another L there on Tesla. So just a couple defenses here, and see, and then it tries to bounce, and then I think like, okay, is there buying back into this again? But it, you know, the answer to that I think is no. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here with Tesla. Maybe if we break 330 again, but look, just stick with the strong names. I mean, here's Alphabet. The story is what it is, and you're coming right back up in here. Let's take another piece. Huge move now. There it goes. Darn, only to have traded this one would have been fine. But yeah, it's Tesla right now that's downside, so we should have probably done something more with that name and either left it alone or not. Apple's trying to find a way as well, now trying to get back in. We said 230. 7 support, well, and that was right off the open, so we didn't like it. But maybe now we're finally trying to find some kind of support here on Apple. But it kind of looks like Tesla a little bit, where it's just dropping in. We're now $2 in the money on Google, so that's working out. It looks like they're buying Google and selling a little bit of Apple on that news here. So yeah, man, we'll try a little bit more on Tesla because it's bouncing off 329, but that trade has not worked at all. So right now, Tesla and Apple and Google and all that, 3 big names for us. And then
by the way,
yeah, go ahead with that.
Now a triple top at $40.50. I think it was the right decision to try to take that one out there. It's bouncing. It looks like it's going to try to bounce off VWAP again, but SMR 8%. It just can't get through 40.5. So trying to dip by. We got 39.7 before. We'll look for 39.8 this time if we can get that little bit of a dip. And Palantir is now underneath that 50 period again. So hunting for that trend to continue where it loses the 50 period on the daily and catches a bid. Dara at the desk. What do we have?
Keep an eye here on the market as we have comments from Fed's Muslim coming through. He's saying that he wants more data to determine the tariff impact on inflation. So that's here coming from Fed's Muslim, again, looking for more data to determine how tariffs might be impacting inflation. It's also worth noting here, Vladimir Putin of Russia is speaking right now, just more on a geopolitical note, but be aware that's happening too. Back to you.
Ooh, that's good timing.
It's now $3. Yeah, what's up to timing there? It's now $3 right now, and it's Google, right? And so it's about trading it. It's the #1 name on the list right here. Came into pre-market lows exactly as we wrote down, and there it goes. So it 223, like we got 224s right there. Good enough for us. It came to 224.89, bouncing off. Not even bouncing off VWAP, didn't really get to VWAP there at 228. But again, just trying to play strong names with strong stories, right? And I think we kind of lost our way with that whole idea with Tesla, because I thought Tesla there was a little bit of a better story than I guess it was there with the robotics. And it's just like this name just keeps on going down. We were able to get something out there at 330 on our 329.30, or what am I long at? 329.36 or so bid right there. But yeah, it looks like now we pay the piper one more time as the market getting low. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're going to get red or anything today, but the news seems too good to be doing that. But hey, man, market be what the market is, and there it is now as Google just rocking topside again. I'm just going to keep getting out like 2 or 3% every time. Because I want to try to be able to hold something for the win. We've only got 25% left, but that's still a decent spot as we, again, picked it up, let it fall in, boom, to the dynamite upside. It's just that didn't work for us on Tesla, is working for us on Google. Open door, I'm bidding 05s. The low of the day is 08, so I still think that we can get into that. I still want to try this if it does come into 05, so that's a potential trade. We sold some JP Morgan yesterday.
It's dipping in again.
Google is?
No, open door.
Open door, yeah, I was just looking at it. Yeah, so 508. Low there could be something. We've also liked DraftKings as of late. Let's just have a quick check on that. I don't know if there's any IPOs coming through DraftKings. We had Mitch on here yesterday talking about potential shorting it because of NFL. I don't mind that talk either. But
college too. It's like it's just more buy the new rumor, sell the news, I guess.
Yep, exactly. Some sort of a thing like that there. And then Apple waiting to see if we can pick up a bottom here, but I don't know. I think we got to let it settle. Thought this would have been a little bit better there for Apple than what the market's giving it credit for. So still a nice little 2.5% upside play there for AAPL. Gotta like it, but it's now, wow, Neil, this Google, I know you've got SMR, or you're in Apple now, but this Google is really ripping,
And
man.
now it's 10%.
It's huge. So
I'm happy about SMR being up 10%,
Same.
but it did not get back into the volume-weighted average price. We like that one in the long term. I got to double check what the other energy names are doing and nuclear energy names are doing, but you know, that one might have gotten away from us on that last dip. It did not get into VWAP. But Apple, it lost 35, but then right back, it broke trend to hold the 235 level. So I'm back into it after stopping out at the low of the day. If it's a trend break, then the prior bar is always going to be my out. 234.80 is the out there. Palantir is still falling, down 1.3%. So it's under that 50 period, but it's shown no signs of catching a bid or breaking this crazy trend to the downside. But this is a big volume candle on the 1 minute chart. I moved to a 1 minute to try and catch a trend break here. Big volume candle, putting in a higher low. If it can make the trend break on the 1 minute, then I would jump into it. After this pattern, I just want to be long underneath the 50 period moving average on every trend break that you can, because it's closed above the 50 every single day for like 7 days in a row here on Palantir. So looking for that bounce pretty much is paid off, and you just hold it the whole day.
Yeah, talk about holding something all day. I don't know the reason to ever get out of this Google, but I'm still doing it every single time it goes up. We are now $1, $2, $3, $4 now in the money on Google. It's just not stopping right now. So as the buyers come in here, we've seen Google go like this before. We saw it go like this yesterday afternoon, where we just kept on ramping. I mean, just this was what it looked like yesterday. 206, didn't stop till 210, 211. So $5 move on no news. Let's see if we can get that here. And like I said, you never know where the bread's going to be buttered, except for today we did. Today both Neil and I talked about how strong Google was, what kind of a play this Google was. And there it is. Now it's up 9%, adding billions and billions of dollars here to Google. So yeah, huge move up. And we just keep on planting these red roses. Nothing but upside love for you, Google, today. Tesla just stopped again at 330. So we did get a piece out. This is just 1 minute charts, right? So we do have some more pieces out here. That was a good one. That was 330.20. So we actually wind up making $1 on its last little push higher, or close enough. We're at 329.26. But we like to see this one try to fly higher here to make up for all the losses that we had in this name earlier. So right now, Tesla just trying its best to get going one more time. But I haven't even looked at the chip names. The market's underneath now, which makes me think about the TQQs and where we are on this one. I had thought that for the TQQs that we were thinking about something in and around here, 87 and change. That's what I wrote down just in case it came in. 87.50. So yeah, I saw that in the chat about AMD, which is why I kind of went over to the Qs. But $4 in the money on Google, struggling today with Tesla, and apparently AMD now moving around.
Well, again, sometimes the chips just don't have a story, and that's pretty much the only reason that we're not really looking at them. NVIDIA is down 0.5 point underneath the volume-weighted average price here, but if you look at AMD, it's catching all kinds of a bid here. Higher and higher. It actually just went green. Don't know why it's going to be particularly strong. It doesn't actually make any sense to me. I don't know of any story that's going on for them in particular. Yeah, it just could be one of those situations, we've seen it before, where AMD just has more momentum in it on some days than NVIDIA. Palantir broke the trend. I want to see it get into VWAP. I want to reload 155. Opendoor didn't break $5. No, you did not.
No, because I didn't get long yet.
No, but it did break the local low. I was in at 11, and it broke the local bottom at 8, but $5 is the bigger level. It held right at the close with about 5 minutes to go. So I want to take shots in front of this. The same way I like that 50 period on the daily for Palantir to look for bounces, I want to look for the same thing at the $5 here on Opendoor. It is trending back in like pretty much everything else, but the market's catching a bit of a bid. I think that can get Palantir to VWAP here as, yeah, a little bit of a, I don't know if we'll get a complete V-shaped recovery, but that was a pretty big volume low that we just saw in a bunch of names. I mean, it wasn't just some of the chips. I mean, Palantir catching a bid in there. I think Tesla's catching a bit of a bid. Apple, which has been weak the entire time. I think it might be calming down here at that 35. Still feels like it's on the wrong side of the V, for lack of a better term. It's not a V, it's only down. So
yeah, all right. Let's get this going here right now. So this is where we'll just see the kind of names that you guys have been typing in so far. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for continuously supporting us, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. We only have 10% left now of Google, by the way. So I just see that coming in here. So I'm going to actually reset this because we talked about Palantir, NVIDIA. We'll have to look at SoundHound today. I know they were flying around a little bit. This Tesla has been the bane of my existence today. Well, hopefully I can get a little bit higher as well. NVIDIA, we just sort of looked at that. Apple, 235. We'll see if that can go there. Neil's taking a couple shots at Apple today. Google, HIMS, and IREN. So let me just go into here. Fresh start this. So now you guys, just simply by typing it into the chat, you'll be able to get your score in, and then we'll figure out which one is hot or not. That should be what the segment is called right there. But hold on a second for my
another show
friend, hot or not? That? There was something like that.
There was
I don't know, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. But right now, we do have to remind everybody and thank Beta Pro and Global X for sponsoring our show here today. Beta Pro by Global X has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, so that's nice, for Canada and other trading opportunities. 3 times bear exposure to the S&P and the TSX 60, semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, fee rebate time, 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek and neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, which is what we talk about here all the time. Get this right now. If you're a tactical and sophisticated trader, go to betapro.ca/3timesdaily to learn more about their offerings. We want to thank them for continuously sponsoring our great show. So thank you to Global X and Beta Pro, the livestock visualizer. Okay, so now we're $1 and we're $4. I hope trading is going well for you over there. We're $4.50 in the money over here. Neil's got Palantir on. GameStop people want to talk about, so we'll look at that in a minute. SoundHound as well. What is going on now with GameStop? We'll call it up. I'll throw it back over to Neil. Can you talk a little bit? Yeah, okay, crypto.
The other day, GameStop was just breaking out because it was going all kinds of sideways in the daily, and when Bitcoin caught a bit of a bid, it looked like GameStop just continued to rally. So I think that could be the story over there. I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's true, but IBIT in particular, ETH is the one that broke out in a bigger way, but IBIT just cleared its high of the day by a couple of pennies and pulled back here. Of course, maybe I've just jinxed it because it was at the high before. ETH is making the bigger move than Bitcoin, as it's now up 4%. But remember, it's a 24-hour market, so that 4% doesn't necessarily mean anything to us. Come on, get to VWAP Palantir. It's right at the volume-weighted average price now. So the market's also at the volume-weighted average price. I know my rule: trend reversion. If we get to VWAP, take it out at the volume-weighted average price. I didn't even get the best price on that wick. Should have been something closer to 155 even. We got the 20s or the quarters. But so far, it's still pretty heavy to the downside. But I'm only looking long Palantir. It might continue to go down, but the whole thesis is every single day it's closed above the 50-period moving average. So I want to give it every opportunity on every single dip to be able to get that move. So Palantir so far so good. Open, we didn't get back into Open Door while we're in Palantir though. That was a bit of a miss because Open now heading back toward those highs. We got the bottoming tail thinking we'd get $5, but we never got that $5. Now we're just going to have to look for another. I don't want to be in the breakout on Open. I only want to be buying dips. I don't like the breakout trade. Prefer VWAP or the low.
All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for being here once again, man. I mean, Google's the trade of the day. Palantir was a good trade. We've had some great trades here, but if you're looking for trade ideas, I mean, you just go into here, the first trade right there, Google long. So pretty happy to have that one, and I do want to thank everybody for being here because if you look at our metrics here, I'm trying to find out how many people are watching. I got to always refresh. There's something wrong with my Google for sure. But here it is right here. So thank you to everybody for watching. 794 right now, 9,000 watching. If you guys just hit the like button, I mean, winners abound right now. I've only traded 2 names. I think Neil's traded 4 or 5. So, hit the like button and all that. There goes GME. We had a huge move yesterday. I don't really know what that was all about again there yesterday. We know that GME does have that Bitcoin trust. We're $5 in the money right now, total positions. So what's up, Joe, over there? I can't wait till we all have this show together. It should be a really fun time. But right into here, GameStop 2350. Looks like a decent holding spot. We've talked about GameStop over and over again because of this level, and maybe we don't talk about it enough, but you coming into here, no matter what you think about everything that's happened with this name, there's some sort of value to support and resistance in looking at technicals, right? I mean, and right there, this 22 buck mark for GameStop has really held. And so if it comes back into there, I think that's a good little area for concern to get long. But more outs up here, 229, our best out is 229.30s. So we're dripping out. We only had 10% a minute ago. Now we got another piece out. Now we have 7.5%. So 2.5% every time, and then we're done. And that's a wrap over here on Google. We've had to wait a minute. We're still going to be red, unfortunately, it looks like anyways, on Tesla for now, unless it really gets going, as we bought some dips. So we went long there, took a shot at 330. That didn't hold, 330 twice. So that was the problem. Then we got stopped out at 329. And then we just went back in and were lucky enough not to get that out. But yeah, now Tesla's trying to go. I'm going to get one more piece out here just because I don't overly think this is super strong. But if we could take out VWAP, that's where my next spot is, 331.40. So we'll see if this can climb through VWAP and go over to Adara.
But I hear on Beam Therapeutics, BEAM. I'm not seeing any news on this, but we've really only had green 3-minute candles since the open on BEAM. I did look into the company. This ticker has rallied in the past. I do remember seeing this one before. $1.77 billion market cap. So it is on the Russell 2000, though it is not the smallest of market caps. And it has a 30% short float, more or less, 29.8% short float for BEAM. So keep an eye on the small cap mover today. Back to you.
There we go. That's a pretty sizable short float. Macy's had a smaller one. Open's got a 24% short float, I believe. Something along those lines. It's back above the volume weighted average price.
It's roughly 24.3, I believe, for Open.
20. There you go. See? Oh, it's kind of close.
Not close. You're basically dead on.
I was joking.
I mean, the percentages that we give are.
If I don't get 0.3, remember they're delayed by usually a month minimum, right? So a lot of times when you see a stock like Open Door like this, the reality is when it's been trending up, there's likely more shorts in it in the last month because it's been just going higher and higher, and that's what the hedgies do. Like they short pops. Or sometimes they get stupid, and we were pointing this one out in the aftermarket show a couple of weeks ago, that a lot of the increase in short in Open was happening underneath $1 back in July, which to me makes not a lot of sense. That almost seems a little bit like you got a bit of a death wish. But yeah, anyways, doesn't really matter. And at the end of the day, this one's trying to break to the highs. I'm long in front of VWAP because I don't want to take a breakout on the stock. Still a ways away from that $5 level for sure. Palantir seems to want to hold the volume weighted average price itself. We've got one close above on the 3-minute. Look for a little bit of continuation if it can close above that, above VWAP again, and then I'll try to get back into Palantir. And a similar thing with, I almost said NNE. I mean SMR, New Scale. SMR got to 41.5. Last pullback into 40.5 where the sellers were this morning, right off the open. It went breakout into 40.5 with a triple top, but still going higher, up 10%. They got a deal with Tennessee. And really, it just seems like this is the early innings for some of these nuclear names. But they're actually starting to bring some money in and get some contracts, whereas before, these companies weren't exactly making a lot of coin. Another decent short float here. So it has squeeze potential here in SMR, up 10% already.
All right.
Oh, JOLTS.
Yeah, JOLTS coming at 10. So if you come over, we do have it all on our watch list. So right now, we are now a few minutes away from getting some of these numbers. Come on, Tesla. I just took another piece out right here at 330.90 on Tesla as it made a move back in. But let's just find out what is happening right here. So here it is, 10 o'clock, the JOLTS job openings number, looking for 737. So we'll figure out that, the 737 max coming through there on JOLTS. And then factory orders month over month, minus 1.3% right there. Then we have Fed at 1 and then Fed at 2. Beige book. Oh, beige book today. Who cares? That's coming at 2 o'clock. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening there with the book of beige. All right, so I'm going to wait for some Google now. I'm rating at 229.25 to see if we can get some of that. We'll go back over here and check on some Open Door real quick. Not much going on over there. Some quick stories for the day here as we go. We had Dollar Tree coming through with not the greatest of reports there. Beats on top and bottom, but then warns guides for Q3. So yeah, Dollar Tree right now, nice little downside downside move and has really been bought up right there off the lows of $97, $98, but having a problem in there around 103. We've talked about Apple and Google. Apple is the one that I haven't traded. Neil's been on this name there today. And yeah, nice downside push into 234. Wow, for Apple. We wrote down 237, but when that was there at open, I was like, no, I don't want to buy a support that is current price. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here with Apple at some point. It looks like it wants to go lower. So does Tesla right now, getting into that. Zscaler, man, we really, really like the cyberspace. Zscaler battled back yesterday, and you know, it started with a huge move higher in the aftermarket. They reported strong Q2 earnings, 21% year-over-year growth, and then boom, just straight downside today. So here we go, Neil. This is an example that you and I talked about where we had CrowdStrike down and we missed the opportunity to pick it up on the cheap. So right here, if you look over
Fortinet too.
Yeah, Fortinet's another great example. So if you're looking over here at, you know, the space, you may want to look at some cyberscale.
And there was nothing you could point. You couldn't point to anything that I could find that was going to be bad in that report. But remember, Zscaler was the biggest of. For most of the year, Zscaler was the biggest mover in the cybersecurity space, and this is a flat bottom break. So you can't ignore what's going on. It's a big loss of support. But if this thing comes in at 250 today, I mean, that feels like it should be an all systems go. Again, with Fortinet, you couldn't point to anything in particular, and once it held low, it was a buy the next day, it was a buy the day after that, it was a buy the day after that. Eventually, it made a bit of a top after it went 10 to 15% higher. But it wouldn't surprise me after Zscaler settles today and they realize, hey, it wasn't all too bad if you don't get a bit of a bounce. But I'd give it the day. Definitely give it the day unless it does something extreme back into the downside. Macy's reported as well. Macy's broke this 16, now up 19%. They raised their guidance, and this one is absolutely flying, 11% short float. It's at the volume weighted average price as we speak, so another strong one. As we go to the desk, time for happening now. Ready.
It's also time for JOLTS job openings, which actually came out lower than expected here, 7.181 million versus 7.38 million forecast, and the previous print of 7.437 million. So again, that print of 7.181 million coming in below the forecast and the previous print. Factory orders month over month, exactly in line with estimates, negative 1.3% is the actual print versus the estimate of negative 1.3%. Core durable goods, 1%. Just below the forecast of 1.1%. But again, these JOLTS job openings lower than expected. That's going to be the key number to remember here. Nasdaq not reacting too much to this print, still holding on to support. Let's see, look at the S&P 500. Can't pull that one up. But either way, Nasdaq here, or the market trying to hold support. Apple on watch at APL, initially pushing higher with Google after that Google antitrust decision. Now, this is actually was viewed as positive for Apple because of the aspect of this decision that basically means that Google is not required to stop paying Apple for preloading Google products. So Apple stock right now giving up some of that move, but generally a positive catalyst for the company. Then we have Zscaler making new intraday lows after, again, an initially strong response to earnings. They did beat on EPS and sales. And as Neil mentioned, their guidance was strong across the board. But right now, not able to sustain that gap to the upside. And before we send you back to Sean and Neil, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at OGEN. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Orogenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Orogenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Yeah, people in the chat. Let's go, people in the chat right now. $9 right now, Neil. $8, my bad, with all of these trades as they just continue to climb, man. Climb through this. I don't know how far it's going to go, but these are nice moves, needless to say, here in the market. I don't think we expected this kind of a move. For Tesla, yes, Tesla's just back to VWAP, but it's this play right here, $6 now and getting higher for Google. I mean, like I said, you know, trader's dilemma, you always wish you had more shares, but there it goes right now for Google. And yes, mooning right now. We said that we just came off our best month ever, and part of that, almost all of that was due to, we changed up our style a little bit with how we're trading momentum names, and then we had bullish, which was a very bullish trade. trade. But there goes Google right now. I mean, 550. This is some of the plays that I think some of you guys are looking for. Those of you that have held that, we got that great super chat from Jorge here that made a nice play on Google yesterday. So thank you for lunch money there, putting $50 down. So thank you so much for that one. But look at the continuation now for Google. We talked about there could be some early selling, and that's exactly what we did. It's always awesome, Neil, when the plan works out pretty much exactly as you and I mentioned. So there's the nice little sell-off right there for Google. There's the dip buy, and there's the blast. I thought similarly moves for Apple. It doesn't look like they're trying to go yet. They've made their move down, but not really the move up. So there it is, man. I think, $9 right now in total, but Google and Tesla are the only two names that I've traded. And again, that was a great bottom down there, but took a couple of hits getting into this trade to begin with. But there it goes, huge move now to the upside. And yeah, just celebrating what's been a pretty successful day here. I'm gonna get another piece out on Google, 230.50, man, 550. We'll take it, still going higher. That's Tesla and that's Google. And there we go, man. Yeah, 550 on Google, 350 on Tesla. So far, so good. And the day's only half hour in.
We're only 30 minutes into the day, and shout out to, I see a lot, look, I see a lot in the chat we try to get to UNH bleeding. I think some of that could be a rotation, but someone mentioned you left something on the table. I always leave on the table in the opening rush.
Everybody does.
Everybody does, but I do it as part of the strategy. Opening push, to me, it's an opening push and then look for the reload. So for SMR, we got our 40.5. For Palantir, the plan was always into the volume weighted average price and then look for entry. I didn't end up getting anything clean as far as their entry goes because I wanted that bottoming tail candle, which is what we're able to get. But you have to sort of look at your own style. This is looking incredibly bullish for a reversal pattern so far, and you've got to keep in mind here, like We've only now come back to the overnight high in the Nasdaq. So as we're getting into this top, like I'd suspect you run into some resistance. And we spent most of the morning, basing out and not able to break out that high. So I think this is that spot where it's 10 o'clock. You could try to find some dip buys and some pullbacks in the names that you like to the long side. I mean, I'm looking at Palantir in particular because I just think that pattern that it's been doing the last few days, if it can hold true, it should be absolutely fantastic. And yes, UNH and some of these, like it's been in that, it was part of that rotation play when tech was looking weak, this stock, it was doing pretty good. And unfortunately, when the Nasdaq rises and you've got Google and the Qs going well, UNH kind of taking it, not on the chin, 1% is, you can't say it's taking it on the chin, but certainly some of the aspect of strength here was some rotationary plays. So UNH still holding 300, I think that's pretty good for it, but overall, what do you expect? We've seen it before with tech. I'm willing to bet that things like Pepsi probably aren't doing too good either on a morning like today where the Qs are flying. Back to highs.
Yeah, here we go. I say, and I'm glad others are right now, traders are going to trade. Caught Tesla. Thank you, sir. What's up to Lunch 9? Lunch 911. I like that one. So shout out to you right there. Let's just see who's here right now. I mean, thank you for joining us all day. We came up with something here. They do it on the midday show. We do it on the after show. And we'll just do it now to see who's going on right now. We are now $10. We're $4.50 on each of these names, both with, look at Tesla. I mean, just an absolute monster of a move. Thank you, Jorge, for being here. What's up to Rivian Millionaire? You're always here, so a big shout out to you. Sean Hogg is here. What's up? What's up, Juan Padilla? I remember you. Where's my guy OGEN right now? Celebration time. Let's go, says Gwarev. There's your boy, Joe. Gwarev is here. What's up to Lane Carter? Darth Trader says what's up. Still here trading Pillsbury. Good. I'm glad that you are. Yo, what's up, Rivian Millionaire? He says, thanks, Sean, again. I am hearing, I don't know if it's Joe's microphone or somebody in my ear here. What's up to Chef Joe? Thanks for recommending the Tesla. That was a good one there too as well. What's up to Trade Dog and Hurt Scrambler, Mr. Easy Street and everybody that's going on. But look at what Tesla's doing right now, guys. 450. We're at the 200 period moving average. That's a good enough spot to get out. So spin that one more time as we get more out there. Thank you to everybody. Thank you so much. That's the end of roll call. We'll just go like that. Thank you for supporting the show and keeping that going. But there it goes. It's Tesla, and what a day for that stock if you're able to pick up the bottom. And then you didn't need to do anything except for close your eyes and hit the bid key there with Google. And to Neil's point, everybody always leaves money on the table all the time. And we actually got a super chat from that yesterday.
Unless you buy, hold, and never get out.
Oh, yeah, no, but day trading wise.
Day trading.
You know, like, even if you buy, hold, and never get out, I mean, if you don't get out at the very top, you know, you are.
Well, you have to get out at some point, you got to get out.
Yeah, exactly. And so for us here being, you know, prop traders and things like that, and again, it's deceiving because we don't show the share size. So it's a little tough to know how much we're holding against each other and things like that. But the idea is that these trades will work no matter how comfortable you are with what share size you have. So whether or not you have 5 shares or 100 shares, you know, a $7 move is a $7 move, right? And I think that that's what we're all talking about, and that's why I try to do my best to tell you when I have a certain amount of units on these trades and how much we have left and all that. So right now, even just on this Tesla trade, 10% left on Tesla, 5% left on Google. So we're very, very light now. We've had that opening rush to the high side. So far so good here today. Let's just see if we can continue, you know, trying to pick up some names with some value to them. I mean, Google up 9%. Got to sort of let it come back in before we, you know, average into this price. The 50-period moving average is right there. We just broke the 21. So maybe we'll get a piece out now, you know. You know, that's just what we're doing. So we'll get another piece out right there and see if it can come back in. 226 isn't out of the question again, guys. You know, we already got some out there at 231. So, I mean, you know, to fall back in, could see a little bit of weakness into the name just as people start to, again, capture more profit. But I want to stay in this name and I want to go long. So we'll figure this out here, and we'll still stay in Tesla. I think there's a big opportunity for that name to get higher as well, TSLA. So 450 now in the money on Tesla and 4 in the money on Google. Tesla back to 335. That's another good out. I'm going to go 334.40.
Just for Roger in the chat here, Dara did bring the JOLTS number. It was 7.18, slightly under expectation.
Yeah.
Expecting 7.38, it was 7.18. So just a slight miss on JOLTS. But it didn't seem to do anything to the markets. The markets got a jolt higher anyways there. So a good look for that. Open, I don't want to take a breakout in this. As long as it can hold VWAP, we'll just look for dip into the volume weighted average price, maybe potential breakout a little bit later. Still a decent short float on open door. There wasn't necessarily a particularly gigantic reason why this was up 6%. It's really just been... They received an award, the 25 R&D 100 award, but I don't think that's going to be the reason it's up 5%. This is a momentum story. This is a squeeze story. This is, you know, retail and exuberance and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I feel like you don't want to throw out the news in this particular case, but you want to respect the price action. Early on when it broke the low, didn't feel like it was going to be on one, and now it's trending toward that high. So I want to hold into a break of the high of the day would be the plan of action. And Palantir,
trade idea.
Palantir it just gets right into 158. 158 has just been, like all yesterday, 4 times it held 158. And couldn't break out above that price. It goes here into 158 and again is having trouble breaking out that price. So this could be the spot where it dips into VWAP, but I'd love it so much more if it just consolidates and breaks out this local high at about 158.40. I'm taking that break because I'm just bullish on Palantir today based on that daily chart pattern that we saw. So like Palantir there for sure. And one name that we haven't really talked too much about the chips, everybody, and I get it. It's just one of those types of days. There were so many other catalysts out there, obviously. But NVIDIA, I might have just jinxed it, just went back to green and into the pre-market highs. AMD was the stronger one, however, but NVIDIA just caught up. Right back to the highs and now starting to pull back. So both these chip names looking strong again. That's going to help this market be able to continue the move. Because early on, it was Apple flushing, but it was also the chip names that were looking relatively weak and holding the Nasdaq back.
Yeah, so I'm into AMD, so we have a new position right now. Let's see what we want to do. Again, AMD's been a really strong name for me over the last little while. So let's just see, but it is falling back into VWAP. I want to sort of wait to see what it does in and around this area. 162 basically breaking. So no more, well, we just took a price right here at the 200 period, but I don't really want to average into this too much anymore. If it does break below this 162, then that'll be it. We'll put another bid around 162.40 or 35, something like that, and then we'll see what it wants to do. But yeah, we could, you know, we could go red here if this does not work out for us. So we're gonna go long on AMD, and just to see, the market's falling back in, so we got to try to catch some strong names here on dip opportunities, right? And so we'll we'll wait. Like I said, it's only 10-12. I don't want to panic too much. The numbers are out there. Neil just reviewed some of those JOLTS numbers. So as Tesla went upside, we were able to get out another piece right there, 333, as we broke back down below now the 200 period moving average. So now that's in jeopardy as the whole market pulling back quite nicely into VWAP as well. We said that Google was a chance to come back in here. So we got another piece out as Neil was talking there as well, breaking through 229 to the downside. So we've done pretty good here, just waiting for some of these names to come through. But we just took a shot on AMD, and now we're reverse dollar club, out $1 now on, well, we're only out 40 cents, but it is starting to now get going here on AMD to the downside as the whole. Yeah, exactly. The whole market is turning around.
Maybe they changed their mind on JOLTS? No,
JOLTS doesn't really even matter.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it matters that much, to be honest with you. That JOLTS number, but sometimes it does move. Palantir does not seem to want to pull back with everything else. Like I'm looking up, we might get open back into the volume weighted average price, but if we're headed back down, I'm going back over to the 1 short. I was in Lucid early. I didn't give it a ton of room, but I'm not going to give Lucid 18s to 18.5. I think that's just a little bit crazy, giving up 3%. But it's back at that $18 level, and that's where VWAP is. So I want to try a continuation play, give it right back into that 18.10 to 15, and try and pick up the 18 short on Lucid. Reverse split, there's no news on it, just reverse split. Right. Reverse split stocks, I mean, they tend to go down. It's not a hard and fast rule. They just have an overwhelming tendency to reverse split and catch a bit of a top. So we're going to try that one into the south side. But yeah, Palantir doesn't seem to want to pull back off 158. It's still a market dip, and this one barely dipped. So this might end up being, if it can hold that 158, it could end up being a bit of a breakout trade. But it's sliding down. I'm trying to be patient here as the market pulls back and tries to pick up some names on the way back in. SMR got a good deal with Tennessee. And wow, up 11%, but this just had a heck of a dip, just pulled back $1. This could come into VWAP pretty quickly. That one's really pulling back into the volume weighted average price. So this could actually come in before we get anything in open. Good story for them, but remember the short float's part of the game. And somebody, look, yesterday we talked about this with Google, but come on. SMR went 33 to 38 in 1 hour yesterday. So congratulations to somebody that knew, had a strong inclination that the SMR, I guess, was going to gap up today. It must be nice. It must be nice. But you could see the program buying. Just, unfortunately, you don't always know that you're going to get the good news and gap up a day after.
No, I wish we did know that. We have that crystal ball. We do have some fun little gimmicky things here. We do have this 8-ball that we haven't used in a minute. All right, will the
we should be making our survivor pick with that.
Yeah, but then you have to ask a question. He's not going to tell you what team. I was
going to ask about the Eagles.
Will the Nasdaq be up more than 1% at close?
More than 1%?
Yeah, man. That's what I'm asking you. Ask Perplexity. Come on. Okay. I don't know if Perplexity is going to have any opinions on this, though. All right. So here we go. AMD, nice little move now back up to the upside. Our average price is, while we were just 20 cents in the money, I don't want to jinx this and by getting out too early or not getting out at all or whatever, but it has not been a super hot fire trade, this AMD one. We've had to wait for something to develop, and I don't know if it's going to, but the market did make a nice little turnaround there and started heading southbound pretty quickly off of pre-market highs again. And like I said, man, very, very simple man over here. Simple trading, simple everything. That support and resistance, you're going to be able to see where we got out of a lot of our trades. And again, getting questions about like, how can you hold? How can you do that? I think it's very, very simply put, is when you start to get extension on a stock, you're like, wow, that's really starting to go. I think those are opportunities to say, hey, maybe it's time to get out of a little bit there. And will you always give some back? Yes, because you're never going to get the tops or the bottoms of anything. All you can do is make the best decisions with what's in front of you, right? And I mean, that's why we keep on talking like this and trying to, roll with stocks that have stop orders and try to average out and dollar cost average into some trades that we like. And then I think a good example here as well is Tesla. Like when this is falling down, this could be 322, not 332. I mean, we were $6 away.
222.
Yeah, hopefully not 222 anytime soon. But, you know, that could have just kept on going. But then we have our stop orders to take hits, of course, because we're going long, but at the same time, able to, you know, live another day and be like, hey, we can make better trades tomorrow or more efficient trades or whatever the case may be. And yeah, just rolling with the punches here today and, you know, trying to do the best with all the information that we have. Like, here's another bump up on Tesla. So again, to answer the question, trader's going to trade. We talk about that. This is what you have to do. If you're going to be on a name and it comes right back into an area that you think could be, and again, it's just coulda, woulda, shoulda, could be an area for support, then act like it is, or resistance, and take some out. You never want to take out the full load. As you can see, that always happens to me, averaging in and out of these things. But at the end of the day, you just got to make the best decisions that you possibly can. And that's why we're here, man. We talk about that all of the time. And I just hope that you guys are enjoying the show and, you know, made some successful, profitable trades here today. As here we go with AMD, straight fire rate now. Hopefully we can get 163 and then we'll climb back. As look what the Nasdaq's doing, man. We're really taking off. And just to show you, 450 in the money here, 350 in the money on Google, 50 cents in the money on AMD. So, you know, just sticking with the guns and trying to trade names that I trust. Seems to have been working out there. The TQQs was a great trade as well, up and down. But the Nasdaq's been relatively flat. I mean, it's been a roller coaster, but flat action here on the Nasdaq, just up 0.73. But let's go AMD, man. Nice move to the high side on this name.
Yeah, Palantir just went again. It just broke that local high in here. I had a stop order to break. It's a random price. It was 158.38. But that happened to be the high, but it didn't cross very far, thinking it's not a round number. There should be plenty of liquidity there, no questions asked. But it just chewed right through it. Now you're through 159. Palantir is probably going to see, let's just go to the daily chart. Palantir has a lot of room to get to $162. So this is the gap fill, about 162. If the market breaks out, I don't see any reason Palantir can't get there. And there's another couple points. So I'm leaving my order in. We'll see if we can't get picked up in front of 158. Open door. Just tag VWAP again and then back trying to break these highs. So we're just going to go with the dip buy here and open. Every single time it bounces off VWAP, I think this is the next time it's going to break out that high of the day and then start squeezing. But you don't get a squeeze if you don't run the highs because shorts don't get all that scared unless you're breaking out top. So I want to be into that top, and then the exit liquidity will be as others try to punch out. So it's 10:20 already. Let's go back over to the desk, Adara.
Small cap recap time. Let's take a look at the IWM, which made a nice pop at the open. Now, I guess a little bit consolidative, trying to find some support at some of these pre-market levels of interest. Here is the Russell 2000. We know this is a little bit rate sensitive, so always worth watching during these economic data events. Of course, we did have that lower than expected JOLTS job openings print at 10 a.m. Let's talk about AIHS, Senmiao Technology. Worth noting, none of these small caps have any catalysts that I could find. Senmiao has a market cap of just under 8 million, about $7.5 million, float of around 1 million shares. A small float there for AIHS. Then we've got Shattuck Labs, STTK. This is a one that is called a repeat offender, as we'll say sometimes. It has moved in the past, like this has rallied previously. And STTK does have a market cap around $66 million. CCG, Shay Group, this is one that's rallied in the past as well. About a $100 million market cap. Again, no news on any of these tickers, guys. Back to you.
Shay, all right, so again, Tesla, let's go banging that one out as we get some more out there as we get into some of those highs. So not so bad here so far for these plays. It doesn't look like AMD wants to go too much here again. Oh, I saw someone talk about Oscar. What's that doing? So this is a name that we did buy. Again, we bought Marvell before earnings. That didn't work. We bought Oscar. Yes, sir. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go Oscar right now. I don't know if there's news on this one, but really happy that at least we discussed some Oscar here live on the show. We're long
it's
at
making the shorts grouchy.
Yeah, exactly. Oscar the Grouch there, the Cookie Monster. Where's the Cookie Monster here? Nice move upside.
Ask Joe.
Yeah, Joe, where's
yeah, there's actually some news on Oscar. So they just reiterated their guidance. They're guiding $12 billion to $12.2 billion here versus $11.32 billion expected. They were at the Wells Fargo conference, apparently. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, apparently.
Is HIMS at that conference too? Because
yeah, HIMS was going in the
it's the same chart.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the same chart, but I mean, it's up and to the right.
Yeah.
That's not up and to the left. What am I? It's to the right, but when you think about it in that direction, whatever. HIMS up 8%. Oscar going. I have no idea what's going on with HIMS, but this is also squeezing rather strongly. Let's just call a spade, as I know Sharif likes to say. So right back into view up here. Well, I mean, it's true. It's
yeah. I mean, it's a big saying.
I'm skeptical to believe that there isn't a story on HIMS. That's all. You just went 43 to 45 at the open, and you're up 8 points here. Look, it bounced off the 200-period moving average, so technically it could just be a bounce, and it's nothing more to it. But yeah, congratulations if you happen to have caught the bid on HIMS. I don't know if I love this one up here at these prices fundamentally, but this is a bit of a squeeze name as well. We've seen it actually rally without catalyst before. Just kind of curious. Rivian Millionaire, what do you think of GEV around this price if you have time? I've been looking for the spot to get back. I sold some GE Vernova recently. I've been looking for a spot to get back into it. But it's underneath the 50-period moving average, and it's so far disconnected from the 200 that that's not even a thing for me. I was looking for closer to 540, where it ramped in July. And unfortunately, it's just kind of holding and not doing much. So I'm in a wait mode. If it can regain the 50 period, then I'll probably just gut it, buy back in there, only 10% off the highs. If it breaks lower, I'm looking for that 20%. Like if it pulls back 20%, I know I'm buying it. If it never gets there, then I guess I'll just end up buying it when it reclaims the 50-period moving average. But that's it's a long-term holding, so I'm not terribly concerned about missing it because I plan to get in and then just hold forever. So.
All right, let's throw it over to Trade the Pool right now because Trade the Pool is changing the way prop firms are looked at. You don't need a large deposit. Trade the Pool is built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line, just small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital. This is how it works. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at just $47. That's your total risk. From there, you trade real shares, not CFDs, using the company capital. Go to tradethepool.com and please scan that QR code that you see on your screen now and join Trade the Pool and go figure out if they have a system that will work for you. And as long as you have winners, most systems will work for you. Thank you for cheering on Oscar. This is another play, a little small cap name sort of cap. I mean, hold on a second. Before, I remember when Open Door was a $2.1 billion company and Sharif yelled at me and said it's not a small cap name because small cap is $2 billion. So
it's always a moving target though because it goes up as the market goes bigger
over there. Yeah, exactly. All right, so this name is also not a small cap name because we're at $4 billion, but when we bought it, it was close enough to that. And so right there goes Oscar. We've made some plays obviously on Oscar as a lower cap name. And we don't just, talk about, and again, we bought Pan W, we bought Eli Lilly, we bought obviously our great friend Google, and Apple's been a recent buy of ours, but also we've given some great calls with Big Bear, and we just bought Marvell as well. We've given some great calls with Big Bear AI. We bought some Big Bear AI average price at 4 out at 650, 750, 850, and still hold about half. I'll have to double check how much, but around half of this trade still in the old account. But today, despite all of this trading, and I'll just speak for myself, we're green right now on the day. And I didn't think after we had lost pretty decently there on Tesla, wow, what in the, okay, Tesla. Whoo, there it is, man. All right, and that's what we say, like, follow your own style, that is for sure. Follow it to the grave, follow it to the bank, follow it to wherever it takes you. But there it goes, man. Right back up there in today's high for Tesla. $7 now in the money on Tesla. And yeah, Randy, it's possible, my guy, right there. And there it goes, man. Nice little trade there on Tesla. But it's 7 on Tesla. It was 5 or 6 on Google. But like we said, that's actually pulling back decently. We still have about 3 to 5% on Google, and now we have about 5% left on Tesla. So we're getting lighter everywhere. That's for sure. So the only thing that we still have half of our trade on is AMD. So that's starting to make new highs. I'm going to actually get some more out up here and just watch this one continue to climb up. And it's funny because Neil was talking about the chip name there and potentially getting back. Meanwhile, we were building that position. So good move there, upside on advanced micro devices. So nice move higher there for AMD.
Yeah, indeed. AMD definitely getting back in there for sure. And the Nasdaq did finally break out the high of the day. I can tell you Palantir just cleared 160. It's continuing to go higher. SMR is trying to go as well. Before it breaks the high, this is holding on to a steep trend since it held VWAP right at the open. I'm just plotting it from the breakout price. So there, or you could actually, technically it should be here. Really, it doesn't really matter. If we break this trend line, I don't want to be long in a SMR. You just put in a topping tail on the Nasdaq. You got to be a bit careful here at these highs because we've broken now on the 15-minute a couple of times here of the overnight highs on the Nasdaq and then pulled back. If you close again underneath that overnight high, then I would have some concern that, maybe this is as far as we get at the open and then we start pulling back going into lunch. So any trend break long, I don't want to necessarily be holding through to the volume weighted average price. It's one thing, if you really like long, sure, you could long back in all the way to VWAP, but not myself. I'm going to try to get in above trend, get out if it breaks the trend, and then wait for the volume weighted average price. I'm back into Lucid. It's at 18. I'm short at 18 as well. Do still like that. And then Open Door, still that bit of that squeeze play. It just bounced VWAP again. I want this to continue to hold this trend up, but we need to break out the high at some point. If you don't break out the top on, I know we just went over the whole small cap thing, but whatever, it's close enough to a small cap to call it that. If you don't break out the top on these gappers, then you've got to be careful because opening range not taking out the pre-market high, you lose VWAP, and then you can turn into a trend down for the rest of the day potentially. I've seen that way too many times, for sure. And yeah, OPC, someone is absolutely pumping HIMS. Whatever the story is or isn't on HIMS, it continues to go higher, and 8.5%. I know it's a decent-sized short float, and that could be part of it. It could also be technical, but Adara hasn't heard a story. I haven't heard a story. We'll let you guys know. I said I was shorting pops in Lucid every single day until it takes out its highs, but that doesn't mean hold 18 to the top, but I'm shorting the 18 level from yesterday. So just a continuation play after a reverse split here for Lucid. It's right back underneath VWAP. My next bid is pretty much at the low of the day at 17.8. If we break that, I look toward yesterday's low. So it's a short but unsuccessful run so far for the
just quickly there on HIMS. Yeah, there's about a 34.6% short float. Lots and lots of social media attention. I have been checking. Some people are in the social media attention saying specific stories. I've looked and there is no news that I can find that is new on HIMS and hers. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. And look, this could be a situation where we find out the news. It could be like look, it could be like SMR really, where you just have a parabolic move and then we find out tomorrow. That's entirely possible. Just trust the price action. Right now it's squeezing to the upside on HIMS. And if we end up with a story, just be wary because the story could hit later and then it's like a sell the event because it's already run 8.5%. But we just want to make sure that you're not just sitting here without the juice. We'll always try to give you anything, any information that we have, and Adara does a fantastic job with it. I look up and I see, like, if we're talking about all the names, like Open, Palantir, HIMS, Tesla, but not SOUN. And SoundHound, it was on the list yesterday as well, and a lot of people were interested in this. This is somewhat of what I was concerned about with Open on the way back. You gap up, you don't break out the high, and then you're making lower highs, losing VWAP. We've seen this pattern so many times on a stock. If it doesn't break out that high in the opening rush, you got to watch out for the backside of the trade here. So SoundHound under VWAP already. Open Door is at least still bouncing off of it. But the one short is still going to be Lucid. It just needs to get back down into that low of the day and can go. Rivian Millionaire, Alibaba.
People are still loving Oscar. Yes. Is that still going? By the way, Palantir, like I was saying to Sharif, because he was like,
161.
Did I look up the personal account because of what Google has been doing? Because Google, about probably all last year and for the majority of my life, has been the largest position that I've held. So it's nice to be at all-time highs. But I actually told Sharif that right now, because of the epic rise in a few names. You could probably guess which ones they are, both Palantir and NVIDIA. These are now my two largest holdings, and I did divest some Google a while ago at a crazy price of 160, between 160 and 165. I'm not even sure the price. But yeah, Palantir's epic rise has created some discrepancies in my top holdings. And then obviously NVIDIA, which has been fantastic. And I'm actually deciding right now if I want to buy some more NVIDIA right here, right now. I think this is generational wealth opportunity for NVIDIA. But, you know, now, Sharif, as you just sat back down, $8 in the money on Tesla. As that continues to go upside there, we'll take a little bit more. Wow, it is. What is Tesla even on right now? A good positive day for us here. Could always be bigger. Yeah, Trim. Sorry, what's up to? I don't sell. So I get upset even if I get out of 10% of something. That's pretty much like what I do in the long-term account. I get out of like 10 or 15% pretty much. Like that's what we did on JP Morgan. And again, it is kind of silly. Like I take the money out and I think like, oh, this will be good vacation money or something. And then we don't go on vacation. But JPM, yeah, yesterday right around this price. So another piece out of JP Morgan. And, you know, like I wanted to diversify a little bit. When I thought that there was some downside push there in Google, due to their earnings report was not great. We know that they actually fell down a little bit there on not their most recent one, the one before that, as we had talked about search revenue and everything changing, and everyone was so scared. And Gemini's not that great, or how are they going to monetize this, or what about those blue links, and you know where's search engines going, and all this kind of stuff. So I was able to rotate in out of some Google into some Lilly, which has been okay, not great. We're lucky enough to have bought some dip there in Eli Lilly, but again, just to try to stick to the plan, like we say here, you could see Neil and I trade with drastically different styles, but for my personal account, when Google was underneath and really starting to look like it was fading off of some of these areas back in right here, this is the area we took down the 200 period moving average, and basically I want to say probably got out. I'm not going to say this move. It was probably the second move, so almost right before capitulation time, straight there to the upside. Just thought that we were in risk of breaking, and we did have a lot of skin in the game there, so we were able to get some out and put the money to work in other spots. But there's no way that the other spots were as profitable as this spot was, so that's for sure. But anyways, that's just what's been going on right now. Tesla, never, ever, ever selling Tesla. As there it goes straight up to the upside now as well. So 337.50, nice upside play there for Tesla as that's continuously going. I like the robotics play. And again, what we had on our mind today was Google, Tesla, Apple, Open Door, and the futures. So yeah, we're pretty happy. Let's just sit in these trades, man, and make a good day of it. AMD, still not even $1 yet, trying to get to the highs. I think we could take those out, man. $9 on Tesla, Neil. $4 on Google. 9 and 4 is 13. Plus AMD right now, another $1. So we're doing pretty good right now. Took too many hits on Tesla early though, right here. So nice little move. You know, you never know. Again, I wish we had.
Well, where you can find some levels, though, you might not have a crystal ball, but you can always find levels, indicators, strategies out there on a platform like eSignal. And you can do it for free for 1 month, everybody. Well, how long are they going to keep giving you a month for free? I don't know. But they are, so take advantage of it. You have a professional platform with reliable quotes, reliable data, where you can hook up to 50 plus brokers, trade directly through the platform if you wish. You can see level 1, level 2 as well, so you can look directly at the book. You can automate your trades. Like I said, you can back test, no questions asked. Pretty much any single strategy out there, an indicator is going to be available there for you. It's an entitlement-based platform, so you can add and subtract the things that you want and that you don't want, and it's 1 month free. So scan the QR code, try it out. If you like it, great. If you don't, hey, then at least you've probably learned something and developed a little bit more in your trading strategy. Shout out to eSignal and scan that QR code, link in the description as well. Shopify, which we had up when talking to Raheem, looks like it's not doing a heck of a lot, but it was still a good look for Raheem this morning. I do like that setup on Shopify. Palantir trying to pull back for the first time in here as it continues to rally. But one name that we have not discussed, Zscaler, in all of his euphoria, It's caught the bottom, it's held the bottom, and now it's just stuck in its tracks at 266. Remember, these guys beat, their guidance was solid, but much like all of the other, not all of the other, a bunch of the other cybersecurity names, what was exuberance in the aftermarket turned into selling and then more selling the next day. Down 3%, but catching a bid. This will be an important close above the 266 area. If it can close above these prices, then you'll have a nice reversal candle for sure on this bad boy. So good look so far for Zscaler. If you've been looking for a place to catch the bid, I think you still give it the 2 or 3 day rule. Again, just because you beat on the top and bottom line, sometimes it has to come down to where the stock has come from, and the valuation's still a little bit pricey when you talk about some of these. And if you're looking for sympathy, CrowdStrike also in a strong market, down 1% in sympathy. This is another good example of what can happen after you catch a bit of a dip and rip. If this loses 404 on CrowdStrike, though, don't forget about that earnings low at 390, because that came really close to breaking this bottom and filling in the gap. And I like CrowdStrike more than I like Zscaler. This is a personal preference. I own CrowdStrike and Palo Alto. Prefer those two to buy on dips as opposed to Zscaler. But if Zscaler loses the bottom, it could give you an opportunity elsewhere, maybe one of the names that you do like.
Okay, just real quickly here. I am, you're gonna have Obi with you on Friday, so congratulations to everybody over there to have Obi here on Friday as we're at another hockey tournament. So we're trying to make as much money as we can right now, and it's done pretty good. Let's just check out here what names you guys want to talk about here today. So Open Door, okay, so I was waiting for $5. Neil's been sitting in that for a minute. He's got Lucid on board as well. We've already looked at HIMS. We've tried to get some information there from Adara on HIMS, and there hasn't been anything. So ABTC, almost like ABCD. Right there, we can have a quick look at that one. What is ABTC? Okay, hold on a second. Let's just have a quick look to see what's going on ABTC, because you asked for it. And wow, I mean, Tesla, for example, whatever, man. Let's just let that go. We have a very, very small piece there. Yeah, $16 right now in 3 positions. AMD is now at close enough to that dollar, but we're going to try to let this one go as the market just keeps on pushing higher. ABTC right there. American Bitcoin. Good symbol there for sure.
Uh-oh.
So here we go, Adara. What's the news on ABTC? Because
it's a doozy. So basically, this is a new company that just started listing today. They are apparently a subsidiary, a majority-owned subsidiary of Hut8, H-U-T, and their chief strategy officer is a man by the name of Eric Trump. So that is American Bitcoin. It is another one of those Trump crypto pumps.
It's halting down right now.
Never heard of them. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it looks like if you can get some 28s right now, it looks like it is trying to halt down. It's already halted once, twice, thrice, quad right now.
Oh, you have to pay for those dates.
Excuse me. There goes ABTC. So thank you for that. American Bitcoin. It's up to DJ TJ there on that name as well. I don't know. Now we have, this is a double-digit winner now. $10 on Tesla right here. Let's just offer out. There we go. We're going to get another piece out around 340. So, boom, shakalaka. You guys ever play NBA Jam? He's on fire. And so is Tesla. We do get, that's funny that our day on AMD did not start us so well as it took out the top there. And we were like, let's go. But then it was like, let's go nowhere except for down. And then it went whoops. And then we were like, no problemo, whoops, all the way back there to the upside. So let's take something out as we round trip this name there. VWAP to high a day. That has to be a spot where we get out. Oklo with a nice runner today as well as, you know, we talked about SMR getting that deal yesterday. Looks like Oklo today feeling it. Nice upside play there through 75 and looking to get higher and higher. But yeah, wow, good out there on Tesla. We now just have a real small piece left, so that's what we're gonna have to wait for. Google, Tesla, AMD leading the way here today for me. Just 3 names, Randy, unfortunately. We had a thing yesterday, Ford F-150, Lightning, or the R1S.
It was
both similar
overwhelmingly
prices.
It was overwhelmingly.
Yeah, so Rivian, so what won on our thing was the F-150 one easily. 75% of the
That's
viewers
what we call him, Rivian Randy.
chose that one. Randy chose the R1S just now. But here's Ford. R1T is the truck, right? Right, so yeah, the R1S. But there it is right here. Ford on the daily chart. Looks like it could possibly be breaking out. Neil and I talked about this yesterday. Ford's bottom in April, Randy, was 8. We're at 12 now. We'll take 50% in 4 months, right, on that name right there. And then just because Randy just picks Rivian, let's go see what's going on with Rivian right now. I see a lot of VinFast. And to Sharif's point, VinFast is much more affordable than Rivian. You can't walk off the lot under 140 Canadian, at least. VinFast, 78,000, I think, there. So, yeah, but Rivian today, oh, wow, Randy. Rivian up 7% today, 15.
7%.
What has gotten under Rivian today right there? I guess it was that poll that we gave yesterday, putting out some nice Rivian love there yesterday. There goes Rivian. Yeah, man, holy schmoly is right there, Randy. Nice move up, breaking out, man. We like Rivian. Shout out to my good friend Nelson, who's on this train.
We had a viewer last week asking for a swing idea. And
yeah.
Rivian was right at that 50 and 200 period. And I was like, well,
there it is.
It's not at Randy's price, but it got pretty close. It hit $11. Did you get in?
10.
Oh, 10.
No, he's down here.
Oh, the last one.
No, yeah, you're not in, but right there.
It's the same area that keeps.
Yeah, I'm still in. I think I'll probably think about getting some out. I do got to do a little portfolio adjustment right here.
17 every time.
We're now $16 yeah, great trade, Randy. We're now $16 in the money on prop side of things. And just really enjoying ourselves. It's 10:43 right now, and I want to thank everybody for watching again. I mean, there goes AMD. Wow. Now through the high of the day, and we'll take that out. So there it is, man. Sort of some action names over here. Lucid and Open Door over there. I don't know if they're moving, but they're not going to go $14 or $15 a course, but hopefully they'll go dime pieces.
Oh, I would hope not.
Yeah, I would hope so for your case, but I hope not for the rest of people. But there it goes right now. Tesla breaking through 340. That's $11 and not stopping, but we're almost out of that. Yeah, Algo's running wild right now. HIMS is a good trade today as well, as is Rivian. So yeah, not much happening right there. We're back to our day goal, so that was really good. Took a minute to get there. We want to thank AMD for helping that play out, because this has really taken us back to the highs. So we're where we need to be here, and it's all good. So yeah, Palantir 161. I don't want to get out any of that until we get back into 180. That's sort of my plan there for PLTR.
Yeah, it's like Palantir just, sometimes you see program buying in different ways. You know, we saw it with Google and SMR yesterday in the most obvious of fashions, but with Palantir, it's really just been the behavior of what is going on at the stock when it loses the 50 period at about $155. It's just, it keeps on, like somebody keeps on dip buying in here for sure. And at some point, the continuation is going to happen. You can't just have this kind of a dip buy and hold forever and it doesn't rally, not in a stock like Palantir. So it is in the midst of a breakout. 162 seems like it has room. It just hasn't pulled back. There's been nothing. Like on a 15-minute chart, there's a bottoming tail candle. It got back into that 156.5, and it is just a straight shot to the upside. When it does revert at some point this afternoon, that's going to give you an opportunity to get back in the prior high, I think around 159 for sure. But yeah, that American, the Trump stock, it's hilarious that it literally halted down as we were finding out what the deal was.
Well, let's see when that opens.
I'm very skeptical. Some of these like high-flying, crypto-related names that go for a day or two, they're just not the place to be. There was a stat that I was telling it might have been Adair or Sharif this morning, that the day that strategy had its peak in terms of premium relative to Bitcoin was one day after IBIT got options. Because people realize there's a better way, or well, better or worse, there's another way that they could play leverage on Bitcoin moves. And when that happened, MicroStrategy ceased to be a bit of a thing. And so if that's true of the biggest and most important treasury play in crypto, what does that mean for all these other new ones that are coming out of the woodworks? I've always been skeptical of them. Not a huge fan, but congratulations. Just know that you got to take profit on all those names. And do so I would say aggressively when you get these monster moves.
So right here, if you go over, we do have 43 likes, a couple comments on this. Go over to Instagram right here. It explains moving averages. Neil has one out, Sharif has one out, I have one out. And there it is. So go over there, try to find it. We talk about some of the trades that we've been putting on. I'll put this link in the chat, and you guys can go find it out there. Also today in the chat, all the ideas. We want to talk about the top names. There's Google, there's Apple, there's Opendoor, there's Tesla, there's the futures. So they're all in here as well. If you're not on X, go find this out right here. This was hilarious. Oh, here's all of us. What's up, Obi? There's Obi and Adair. Neil was off this day. My guy Joseph there, Miami Joe, chilling out on the patio where we had some beers there. That was a lot of fun. Here's my brother, by the way. Right here, we were golfing a little bit. And when I take time off, it's only to spend with family, pretty much. Oh, here's the Minecraft experience. I want to thank Minecraft for hooking this up. But there it goes right there. It's through my wife, not through me. But here we go, just pushing these things. This was pretty fun, throwing these things there at Minecraft. And there's my, of course, gorgeous kids. And yeah, so that's what it is. Oh, here's Belle. We talk about my dog all the time. There's Belle. What's up, Belle? Coming in. Yeah, here she is right here, Sharif. There it is right there, the cockapoo. Yeah, so she comes to our baseball games. And emotional support dog, I guess, here, Randy. So there it is, Belle. As I'm telling all the girls, you know, Google's about to break all-time highs here, girls. Like, let's get long on that name. Shout out to Hyde Park and all the girls that we trade over there as well. There's a few. Oh, here's me and my cousin going to the Jays game. Randy, I was looking for me and you the last time we went and got that porchetta. Oh, here's Neil and I at a Bills playoff game. You could see a team player there supporting the Bills, of course, when none of our punk friends were. And here I am.
Lawyer Malloy jersey.
Here I am in the Green Bay. Yeah, Lawyer Malloy jersey. That's what I have on here. Here's my niece. Okay, back to trading.
By the way,
right now.
ABTC halted down again. It opened up and just tanked another $2. It's now, well, I mean, it's still up 40% because whatever. But this is the whole point. We're literally just talking about this, not this kind of thing, nonsense, whatever. If anyone interested, I hope nobody's caught in this. 970 is the current theoretical auction price here on ABTC. It is already 1050. Hey, people have been concerned about the US dollar.
Yeah.
Let's see how it's doing. I think.
Actually, both. We're just going to do both here because one's at 1040, one's at 1050. We're just going to marry them both here. Electronic technology actually having a lot of green, but not a lot of sectors have this type of strength. Apple and Google, of course, between electronic technology and tech services, are really leading the way in these tech sectors. We know there was that Google ruling. We were expecting potentially worst case scenario that Google might have to divest its Chrome. That didn't end up happening. And Google is allowed to continue its payments there to Apple for their search function. So good look there for both companies. Retail trade has some strength here. Home Depot, I just saw actually apparently making some comments at a Goldman Sachs conference. Energy Minerals, though, was really red. For those who are wondering why oil's weak, there is a reason. Apparently, OPEC Plus is considering more output hikes. This has oil as a group sharply to the downside. Health technology, consumer services, and consumer non-durables also weak. Same with communications. Now, to move on to the money talk side of things, the U.S. dollar is in the daily chart, and we're still in this range in the daily that we've been in for going on a month now. Nothing super exciting to look at here from a chart perspective, but we have to talk about Fed's Waller because he is one of about 11 contenders here that is seen as a pretty decent shot at having the Fed chair position. Fed's Waller, you can see him right there in the corner. Again, he is a current Fed governor, and he actually made some comments on CNBC during an interview this morning where he said not only is he in favor of potentially a cut in September at that meeting we have in about 2 weeks, actually going to be 2 weeks from today. So he's in favor of a September cut, but he's also in favor apparently of more cuts over the next few months. So Fed's Waller coming in very dovish. This could help his case for that Fed chair position. It is worth noting, though, that he clarified his reasoning for his stance had to do with the labor market, which you know quite a few Feds are concerned about. Furthermore, he did not comment on the ouster of Fed's cook during this interview. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara, for all of that. I have to call out, I got called out basically by Adam to lose in the chat there. He's like, bro, what about when you and I hooked up in London? Well, here it is right here, my guy. Here's Adam and myself. There's the eye right there in the background. What a great time the wife and I had there. And thanks, Adam, for reaching out and connecting on that day. It was on top of the Opera House. We had a nice drink, and right down here is a great market, and absolutely fantastic there. So as I said, great to meet up with a fellow trader there. Yo, what's up, Kevin? Kevin O'Leary. This is when I was playing baseball, you know, before my knee and everything. Well, my knee happened in high school, but here it is right here before I got the operation. Here's Barron, who's now 13 years old. I was number 6, he was 6.5. Right there. So anyways, but there it is right there. So, all right. Yeah, just loving life and trying to live the best, healthiest life possible. So shout out to everybody doing stuff like that. All right. So there goes AMD. There goes everything pulling back just a little bit again. And we only have a few minutes left, which reminds me, let's just go figure out what's for lunch because Joe, it's part of Joe's contract actually. Joe cannot go on until he finds out what's for lunch.
It's true.
So we have to do this. So today, Joe.
You know.
All right. This is of the variety that is not a land creature.
Oh, thank gosh.
So nor flying, nor nothing like that. This is lemon and dill. But today we get salmon.
Oh, that's fine.
So that's okay. So we'll see. So that's salmon. A little bit of a good.
Yeah. Likes the salmon.
So there we go. Yeah. So Joe approving there, and we get the golf claps there from Sharif. Lemon and dill salmon. So that's not bad. I think there's a lot of people happy for that. So that's good. With roasted baby potatoes, seasoned veggies, and Chef Joe's choice salad. So there it is right there. That's another one, and that's of course what's for lunch. So thank you there. You're welcome, and you're welcome for Google, guys. You guys are welcome for Tesla and all of that. I mean, it's just about, honestly, this is $4 now. It's just about making your own trades. And we say it all the time. Sharif's going to have a different style than Joe, than myself, than Neil. We're all going to have completely different styles. It's up to you to determine which style you like, or all of them. Mix and match them. Figure it all out. We're basically here just to show you trading, talk about the markets, obviously have a good time. That's why I'm doing that on Instagram, sharing basically my life with everybody there, trying to make those connections. So I hope you guys are good to go and enjoy the show, and that's would be happy enough for me. So yeah, and we'll talk about our long-term trades as well. You guys know Oscar, we've talked about that, and Google holdings and everything. So again, thanks for watching, and we're trying to become and are the best trading show on YouTube.
Only. But also, I see a lot of people. ABTC is open again, and we'll continue to look at it. Not, you know, we don't endorse stocks one way or the other, so we're harping on it. I was just sort of harping on it for the reason. There's a difference between. No, I don't endorse stocks. I'll tell you if I own a stock, or if I'm buying a stock. That's not the same thing as endorsing a stock.
No, for you, I'm saying I endorse stocks. You don't. I say I endorse stocks. I'm not speaking for you. Like when Palantir, remember we did the bear case?
But that's just a stock that you own and like.
No, endorsing it means like you're supporting it. You're giving it a.
Yeah, but if that's the definition, then yeah, I've endorsed Webull at $10. But I don't. That's not. I don't use endorse that way. Like to me, that's a different definition. No, but I'm not trying to. No, I'm telling you a stock that
Let me see what Webster says.
I'm buying. There's a difference between I am buying and I own than endorsing. To me, endorsing something just means you're giving it a heads up whether you own it or not. Like, to me, those are two different things. I think specifically, I own and am buying this stock is very different from I happen to like this stock. And to each their own. If you think they're the same thing, fair enough.
No, I'm saying that you do endorse stocks by saying that you own stocks. That's endorsing stocks you own.
Fair enough. I like to make the distinction if I'm buying it or not.
Yeah.
Not just saying I like it.
Right.
And so when I say I don't necessarily like these, and that's talking about these like recent high-flying crypto pump plays, it just comes down to the fact that I could never find myself buying one of them. And it's nothing personal against anybody or the space, but it is open back up. It's making some fresh lows in here. It's just we've seen this all too often, and there's been some success stories. I know lots of people that have mentioned in the chat how good BMNR had done for them, or like SBET. Like, we've seen these things go absolutely ham, but then it's just the other side of the equation tends to come back and like, look at SBET now. And then BMNR, like Bitmine, whoops, that's Blue Ocean. You can trade this. Apparently you can trade this on Blue Ocean. I didn't know that.
EMNR, okay.
That seems like it wouldn't have a lot of liquidity in the aftermarket, in that market, but whatever. That's kind of crazy. I'm a little surprised. Why BMNR? On the AMEX. And now this is freezing on me, so I can't even get to it.
My wife's in Costco and says it's dead in there right now, so I might have to.
Why would it be? Yeah, but everyone's back. It's back to school, back to work. Like everyone's in the office.
Yeah.
Is this even going to load BMNR? Is the chart that bad? There you go. This is my whole point. All I was getting at with these names is when they catch the other side of the V, they just trend slowly to the downside. So when you take your profits when they're going parabolic on all of them, because that's just been the pattern as far as I'm concerned. Market's still looking incredibly strong. We only have about 3 minutes to go, everybody. See what Palantir is doing here. I don't know if Palantir wants to give us that pullback that we're looking for just yet, but it's still holding above 160. Feels like it's made a bit of a top. Pullback into prior high is going to give you the volume weighted average price as well. Ooh, nice little super chat here. I like this comment, Yala. And I think everybody, to this point, everybody comes from a different stage in their journey. You've been watching for 2 years now. You came in knowing nothing about trading. Now you watch every day. You're the best out there. Thank you for all the knowledge and hard work. There's people that have never traded before. We've got viewers in here. Adam would be a good example. Rivian Millionaire. Some of our others that have been trading for a while. We have people in here that only invest and don't even actively trade, or only swing trade, or only play options, or only do crypto, or whatever. Once or twice we've seen like currency traders that are more interested in Forex every now and then. It's really just about a great community where we can all pick things up together and figure out what's going on in this market so that we can all make a bit of coin, regardless of what your time frame might be. And hopefully everyone here can do that. I saw someone just say, sell Costco now. Why? Why, as I randomly read the chat? We were just talking about never selling good companies.
Still going up? Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Nah, I don't know. I haven't even looked at Costco today or Walmart, but I liked Walmart.
Yeah, it's up a little bit.
Oh, is it? Well, I would imagine so. Walmart's not doing anything. So Costco's probably not doing much today either.
No, Costco's just up small. And the reason, look at Oscar right now. I endorsed this pre-earnings right there. So we are in this one right now. And I believe there's other traders you're going to find out in Oscar right there as well as that's going up. So I know the reason why I brought that Costco, my wife's like, oh, what should we get for? She's buying one of the big pre-made chicken Caesar salads, or I think it's just a Caesar salad when you add the chicken afterwards. But there's Costco right now. And I was only talking about it because this is a name that I've owned pretty much my whole life, but it's dipping back in, and I'm, like I said, to try to get some names other than tech names. But I don't know if I like names that are underneath the 200 period moving average like this, but Costco's a really, really strong name, man. It's kind of like they get that revenue from the ongoing memberships there, and you're not going to find the pricing at Costco. It's too good. But anyways, there it is, Costco making some moves down. Again, grab the Walmart as a play as well, and we do like Target. But I know we're going to go to Sharif and Joe, but right now, like $12 on Tesla, like this is just an absolute monster there. 12 on Tesla, 5 on Google, 1 on AMD. Today is going to be a special day for trading, not only with Neil and I, but now with the midday show as well. So yeah, that's Marissa's. That's why she went today. She went to go. What's up to JBXO there? Yeah, going on a Wednesday morning. Great time to go to Costco. So yeah, for sure. I'm not worried about the stock. I just like to do some channel checks, and see what's going on there. But shout out to that. So, all right, man, I'm leaving you at the highest spot I've been at all day, and it's 11 o'clock right now. So it should be fun going through there. Fisker, all right. Good day trading.
Worksport halted to the upside just now, out of nowhere.
Worksport, WKSP in Cincinnati.
Have not heard anything about them in quite some time.
Let's look here. $4, $3.50. Wow, we were talking about Worksport on the show, sub 50 cents.
It was 20
They must have reverse split right there, my call.
Right.
So they went from 20 cents up to $4. Maybe that was what it was there. Had to have been.
Has to be.
And then now Worksport trying to go as well. We'll see if there's any news over here on the midday show with Worksport. But all right, thank you.
The tap is 30% higher right now. Now.
450, but it just closed.
It just closed just now. That could be anything.
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll be back. I know you're going to be going swimming, gym, weights.
No, staying here because we have that meeting.
Oh, shoot, that's right.
Yeah,
We got a meeting.
yeah. We have to see if we're going to keep Neil
Oh, see
around.
if I can
or
get the
not.
walk in today.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
yeah,
get
I might
the
go
walk
for a walk as well there and make these
Yeah,
decisions.
true. I forgot about
Okay, so thank you so much. Yeah, we got this meeting, so that should be fun. We've got Sharif, we've got Joe over here, we've got Adara on the desk, we've got Randy and Rob and Mark walking around behind us and getting Studio 8 ready to go. So that should be a lot of fun for that one. And yeah, we're excited. Whenever that starts to drop, we'll have some more information on a timeline for you guys. But thanks for watching. It's 11:02. Over to the Midday Show.